All right, looks like we are live. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the new 151 stream. And before we get started, I just wanted to point out to my longtime viewers who have never seen my second cat that's her. She's the one who's usually in the bedroom when I stream. She's sleeping here today. Anyway, so today we're going to redesign Grimer and Muk, and you can see I've already got all of the references here. But the concept for today's redesign is actually from my friend Infinipede, who is in voice chat with us. Hello, Infinipede.
Hi.
How you doing?
I'm doing all right. About as all right as I can be, considering I live in New York State.
Yeah. Things are really bad over there.
Yeah, not quite as bad. I'm in central New York, so not the city.
Right. Yeah. Not quite Manhattan, but
No.
how are you feeling about streaming a redesign?
um, I'm a bit nervous because I know the new 151 has been, with some people, a little divisive. Um, though hopefully the people here are receptive to my concept.
Yeah, I think so. I just had a brief look at it, but let's put it on screen here. Uh, yeah. So tell us what we're looking at.
Okay. Once it comes up on the stream
Yes,
for
of
me, so I
course.
can
Yeah. So we have a stream delay that's hopefully
slight
not more
delay.
than a few seconds, but
Yeah.
so that's something that we're gonna have to deal with. If I'm like, oh, am I drawing this correctly? Is this how you envisioned it? I'm gonna have to wait a bit to find out.
Okay.
Yeah.
Um, so I started with Muck and worked my way down to Grimer. Muck's colors are based on photography of the BP oil spill that I saw.
Mm,
Very like rust red with a sort of wavy design. Looks like a chemical reaction almost.
right.
It has feet, as Muck's red and blue Pokedex mentions footprints.
Yeah.
So it's got to have feet down there somewhere.
That was always
And
something that I wanted to see. Like, if it has footprints, where the hell are they?
yeah, I imagine that you wouldn't always see them. Like
Right.
when it's standing still, you might not see its feet, but then it would rise up and walk,
Right.
and you would kind of see the feet go. It's got a tail. It mentions Muck leaving like trails behind it of toxicity and poison.
Mm,
And I
right.
thought it would be kind of cool if it had like a tail it would drag around.
Right. Almost like a slug or snail.
Oh yeah, I definitely used like slugs as a sort of inspiration for this Muck.
Cool.
Um, Grimer, in part, I took a little bit inspiration from a Digimon. Numemon is actually a slug, and I thought the shape of Grimer when I started drawing it was a little Numemon-esque, so I stuck with that.
Okay.
Um, on Muck's back, it has a Fatberg, which I
Oh,
had to actually look up what they look like.
right.
It looks a little different than I imagined. It's much more solid. But a Fatberg, for those who don't know, is a sort of like solid, congealed blob of oil, usually cooking oil, and quote unquote flushable wipes that have sort of decayed together in the sewers and block stuff up. There's a lot of them in England. There's been one in like Detroit. Um, very, very nasty stuff.
Yeah. If you've never
Yeah.
seen a picture of one, I'm not going to show one because it's nasty and you might not want to see one.
It
Uh,
looks more just like calcification. Honestly, it's not that bad. If you just Google Fatberg, if just
sure.
make sure you have a, if you don't think you want to see it, don't Google it.
Yeah.
But
Exactly.
it looks more like just something you'd see in like a limestone cave. Um, so Grimer
Yeah.
is more. I wanted to have it be sort of a stepping stone to Muck. One thing that's mentioned in one of Muck's other Pokedex entries is that it's lost its nose because it smells so bad.
Oh.
So I wanted to give Grimer a nose to represent the fact that it has lost, once it evolves, it loses its nose.
Right.
So I actually referenced DC's Swamp Thing.
Okay.
And on the back, I decided to put something that would turn into the Fatberg.
Mm-hmm.
And I used the concept, Bog Leech's concept of the trio of Muk, Weezing, and Garbodor as water, air, and ground pollution. And I thought, well, what represents water pollution aside from oil more than those like 6-pack plastic rings?
Right. Yeah. I like that. I like the look of that on the back.
Yeah, and that's what kind of becomes the Fatberg as it evolves.
All right. I'm going to ask you to maybe pay a little bit more attention to the chat than I do.
Yeah, I'm definitely peeking at it.
Okay.
I can answer. I can
Yeah.
answer things in text, just so you guys know. I am Medical Mechanica on YouTube. This is a very old account.
Yeah, if you also feel free to answer any questions verbally.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah, go ahead, Ethan.
How did this collaboration start? Just for people who might be tuning into their first.
How did this collaboration start? Well,
Yes.
the new N51, like the idea was, I don't think it was entirely mine, but we were on our, someone said something on our PMF group on Facebook. So PMF was a forum that I used to run, and both Ethan and Infinipede were on it. This what, like 10 to 15 years ago kind of thing.
Oh God, yeah, I would say almost 15.
15.
Yeah, 15 or so was when it started. So maybe 10 years ago was when it kind of ended. But yeah, so we kept in touch for a long time after that on Facebook, and so the idea for this project grew out of something that someone said on our group on Facebook. And so I asked if anyone wanted to join in with me and just do some redesigns of Pokemon for the 20th anniversary. This was 2016 that we started this.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and so at the time, I think, Infinipede, I think you were the only one who expressed interest, but...
Yeah, there were people who expressed interest, but in the end, the only people who really kind of came through were you and I, and the idea was that you would do the digital art or traditional art in the beginning.
Yeah, at first it was a traditional art.
I would do the pixels, but then it turned into you doing the digital art, and I became too busy / depressed / whatever to continue with the pixel art, though it's still something that I would like to do in the future.
Yeah. I think you had a big challenge with that too, because we were doing designs, or well, we are doing designs that are much more complex than what they were
yes.
For even by the standards of Generation 3, and you were trying to do them within the constraints of
yes.
Generation 3 so that they could theoretically go into a ROM hack. Into a ROM hack, yeah, right. So.
I would still like to do that.
Okay.
Which it is, I like to, I'm a very purist pixel artist, so I often traditionally try and challenge myself with limited palettes or limited space.
Mm-hmm.
And it's very difficult to do. Some of them look kind of funky. Like if you look at Fearo's sprite, it's a little funny looking.
Yeah, it's just really hard to fit.
A lot of them are very hard to fit, the amount of detail that they have. And I do enjoy working within constraints, but
Yeah.
I'd love to go back to it someday. I know that I definitely want to do Sandshrew and Sandslash at some point.
Right.
And then work on from there.
Is that the first one that you haven't done, or like the oldest one that you haven't done? Okay.
That's the first one that I haven't actually done.
Okay. Well, what were you going to say, Ethan?
Did the collaboration come before or after the regional variants came into Pokemon? I've lost track of the timeline.
As far as I'm concerned, I think before, because I wasn't looking at news for Sun and Moon.
It was prior to regional variants, I remember, because I think
Okay.
we would have gotten some asks about, were you guys influenced by regional variants
Oh, that's
for the
fair.
Pokemon?
Yeah.
Whereas we were influenced by the Mega Evolutions.
Mhm.
So I think this was like, it was Gen 6 as opposed to Gen 7.
So in other words, you beat Game Freak to the
I guess
idea.
that's one way to look at it.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
suppose.
Yeah. I don't know at what point in the Sun and Moon cycle regional variants were announced or revealed.
I'm
Because I wasn't
I'm
looking
pretty
at news,
sure
so
I'm pretty sure they weren't revealed by the time that we
Okay.
began. Yeah.
yeah. So this is actually a bit of an odd one to be for me to be working on because it's so shapeless. And so this is completely unlike the process that I would normally do for a Pokemon. Normally, I would kind of look at the proportions of the original, maybe do like a skeleton kind of thing, sometimes over top of the original, and then pose it into whatever is appropriate, and just kind of work from there. But this doesn't have I don't have that basis, so this is just completely like I have your sketch to look at, but
Yeah. I might suggest actually, if you're trying to pose it and layer it over the original, I would suggest maybe breaking Grimer down into like layers of sludge.
Yeah, it is kind of layered.
Yeah, if you look at Grimer and Muk, you can definitely
Yeah.
see they have layers, especially in the original Gen 1 art.
Yeah, they are like ogres.
Yeah. Excuse my language.
So do you reference the green sprites too? The the real original, the Japanese.
Oh, that's a really good reference point that we should be looking at, but I personally
Actually, these might
think
be
we-
the originals. I can double check. In the case of Grimer and Muk, it doesn't make too much of a difference.
no.
They didn't
we-
change very much.
We did with, I think, Kakuna in particular, because Kakuna at one point had arms.
Yeah,
By the way,
that might have been from a sprite.
Miss Pikachu 2006 is high. A little late, but
Oh, hello. Yeah, so these Gen 1 drawings that I have on here, these two, are actually the red and green ones. They look a little bit different in for red and blue.
Yeah, because the first thing that comes to mind is not Muck, but the cloister being wrong, like the wrong angle.
that's
that?
actually Cloister is my next redesign. So
Okay.
I'll take a look at that now that you've mentioned it. I
Uh-huh.
have a pretty general idea where I want to go with Shelter and Cloister.
Right, because you were working on that instead of this one, because I
Yes.
made a mistake.
Oh no, it's okay. It just means that I'll have a head start on next month.
Yeah. I've actually been doing some work on my next one, which is only the Gengar line.
Oh yeah, I'm looking forward to that.
I'm really excited for it. I think I have a good idea, but I have been struggling with the specifics of the design.
Oh, that's how it always is for me.
Yeah. I'm just gonna cut these into separate layers because I'm probably going to have to adjust proportions here.
Okay.
Yeah. Get this back up.
Yeah, I've never actually seen your like process because I've never been to one of these streams.
Right. Well, this is a little bit different from the way that I would normally do other redesigns too. Um, I do have a sketch, but I don't usually have it on screen.
Okay.
So for the viewers, it normally just it's just me sketching.
Yeah.
And I try, especially when I'm doing it live, I try um, to do things more freehand
Mm.
rather than copying or tracing too much.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like I think that copying and tracing is. Oh, apparently I did this on a repeat layer. I think that copying and tracing is a valid way to start.
Yeah.
But when I'm doing it like with an audience, it
Yeah.
feels a little bit weird. So I do mostly try to just do completely from scratch. Does this Grimer need to be taller or shorter?
I don't know. I would look at the Sugimori art for that. I have no opinion on
Okay.
on its height personally. That's one of the things I wasn't really thinking about
Okay.
was its height.
Like,
I was more just trying to get the details down.
both Grimer and Muk are very fluid, so even if you see like in the 3D animations of battle, they flatten down and they stretch up quite a bit. So
There's a Dex entry that mentions the flattening, that Muck can pretty much make itself completely liquid.
wow. Um, I haven't actually looked at the Muk or Grimer dex entries. Sometimes I
There's
do.
some
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Okay, there's some really interesting stuff. Sun and Moon, the dex entries for Cantonian Grimer talk about, and these are the only dex entries that talk about this. Pretty much Gen 6 and earlier, they were all very similar. Like, this Pokemon smells really bad. It loves to eat garbage. Um,
Okay.
the the Alola dex entries for Cantonian, Muck, and Grimer are about how it's going extinct and how people are actually building sludge ponds to as like a species preservation sort of thing. So it's kind of like the people who are like hand feeding baby vultures and so on and so forth. It's like we are trying to preserve this incredibly like usual like the animal that most people would think of as ugly.
Right.
But it's an interesting sort of positive take on the future of the Pokemon world, that garbage and landfills and such have essentially been so much improved that Muck and Grimer are actually beginning to their endangered species.
Right. Yeah.
So I thought that was pretty neat.
We're getting a good question in the chat.
What's up?
So Pokemaniac Sharon says if regional variants had modified species names rather than getting the region's names added in front. So, for example, Alolan Sandshrew being named Snowshrew, would that be better or worse? And this Charon was not done. Would this mean they'd have to be treated as new Pokemon species, or could they still be just forms?
Ooh, I have a feeling this is like a split the room kind of question.
Yeah. I was laughing because Ethan knows exactly who Charon is. Ethan,
I assume.
Yeah. Ethan. Anyway, I think like early on, I was a bit opposed to the idea of regional variants because I felt like they were changing too much. Like the changing the type. Like to me, a Vulpix is a fire type, and so changing it to an ice type feels like not a Vulpix anymore. But I don't know, over time I guess I just got more used to the idea. and I'm not happy with this arm. I've come to accept, I guess, that the Pokemon can still be a Vulpix while being a different type. So I don't know.
I like the idea of regional forms, and I like. Honestly, I wouldn't want the names changed. I feel like that would cause some confusion.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like in terms of Pokemon, let's say you have like regional forms or like subspecies, whereas calling a Pokemon a different name would be equivalent to changing its specific name. It would be a different species. Also, you take that back, Didac.
Can
Oh,
I
well.
chime in on this question?
Oh,
Yes, of course.
hello, Julie.
Hi.
Thank you for joining us.
Thank you. I was trying to like contact one of you, but I think you're all just very very engrossed in the stream, which is good because it's a cool idea.
And
So-
I
very,
saw you get in, but I was waiting for you to introduce yourself. Or
Yeah, that's fine.
Umbreon Libris to introduce you.
So I will chime in on this question because
Yeah,
I
go
have
ahead.
thoughts here. I am a huge proponent of Pokemon should constantly be changing stuff like that all the time. I don't think anything should ever be set in stone. So I would love to see it called Snowshrew because it doesn't make any sense for it to be called Sandshrew if it's just that way in Alola. But I would always want the names to be very identifiable if they're a form. Like you can't call it Steve. Like you need to know that it's still a Sandshrew. So I want to know that. And also, I really wish they'd go back to Gen 1 and they'd just make Nidoran one Pokemon. I know that ruins the whole original 150, but like, if you're gonna change stuff like that, you gotta go back and fix the old stuff. It just bothers me that they're
It would still be the 150 because of Mew.
because of Mew. Yeah,
Yeah, so they wouldn't actually ruin that.
that's true.
Yeah, that's an interesting. Because if it was introduced any later, at least like after Generation 4, it could be they could look exactly the same, but the Nidorans would just be different genders of the same
Right.
Pokemon. Before Generation 4, they didn't really have, like, they had genders, but they didn't have gender exclusive forms. So I don't know if they would have done that differently.
Did they not do any of that in Gen 2? I think you're right.
I don't
They
think
had
so.
gender exclusive Pokemon, but they didn't have different gender forms. No.
Okay.
Yeah, there were Pokemon that were only one gender, but there were no Pokemon that looked different depending on their gender.
And even in Gen 4, I honestly don't think it was until Gen 6 that we really got a Pokemon that diverged drastically based on gender, with the
Yeah.
exception of gender-based evolutions.
Right. Yeah, there's Meowstic. Looks
Yes,
that was
Meowstic.
Gen 6. What are you thinking of about the way the arms are here?
I would
I think the
I would,
left
like,
one looks a little
layer
shorter
the
than the right.
yeah, it does. And I assume you're gonna like sort of what's it called? You know, the art thing where something's in front of another thing. I'm sorry, I'm having like a word block moment. I have a lot of
Layers?
those. No.
Foreshortening?
Yeah. I mean,
Okay.
are you I assume you're gonna adjust the fingers.
Um,
Because right now
Yeah.
it's kind of like they look like they're all in the same place.
yeah, I can make this arm longer. The things that I was struggling is that I wanted to put one of the arms. Well, I actually wanted to put the left arm. This arm, just so that we're talking about the same left.
Yeah. It's left, right?
Yes, it's
Yes,
left.
perspective. Thank you, Maturks.
Like in terms of the pose, I think that it would look really good for it to actually be up, kind of like in the original red and green art there.
Oh, that would be fun.
For it to be stretching up. But the problem is that it stretching up here blocks the plastic rings on the back.
I would say roll with the FRLG art then.
Ethan,
Yeah.
you're good, by the way. We cannot hear
Yeah,
you.
I can't hear you at all. Yeah, and if you want to do, like, you could have one of Muk's arms reaching up. Like,
Yeah,
that's a pretty...
maybe.
Honestly, that Muk pose is more iconic than the effort one
Fair
to
enough.
me.
All right,
Yeah.
let's try
Like,
this.
it was on the cards and stuff.
Let's try this arm again.
That Muk
you
has
know-
always and will continue to always look like it's just flipping you off.
I know,
like
I was about to
original
say,
Muk.
you know, when we were kids, everyone would be like, oh my god, it's sticking up its middle finger. Same with Mewtwo.
Muk, though, especially, it's like it's right in the air. He's waving it at you. He's got opinions, and he wants you to know them.
You know, I actually don't know if people in my school ever pointed that out. I'm sure someone at some point in my 20 plus year Pokemon career has pointed it out before, but I don't have a strong memory of it being like a thing that people talked about.
Maybe it's just American kids. American schools.
Is the middle finger like a widely accepted gesture of vulgarity? Like, is that
Oh, yeah.
also a thing in Brazil?
Yeah.
Okay, just checking.
Is there anywhere that it isn't?
I don't know.
There are places in the world where they have different vulgar gestures.
Yeah, Brazil is one of those. The like okay sign, like this. This is equivalent to the middle finger in Brazil.
That's so wacky.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know there's like actually a number of places around the world where if you do that, you're calling someone an asshole. Oh, excuse my language. I'm so sorry.
So
It's
is that
fine.
meme where you're trying to make people look at the okay sign? Is that like way funnier overseas?
That's a good question. Because like I grew up in an American school, right?
Oh,
So
Yeah.
so the okay sign never felt all that offensive to me personally, because everyone I knew used it as the okay sign.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't think I can speak
no.
to what that was like outside of the American school context.
I'm sorry I cost you your monetization.
Did it flag that? Did YouTube like immediately hear that and go no?
No, somebody
No.
somebody was joking on stream.
Oh, okay.
I hope that like
No,
Because I know it can listen these days.
yeah, it's listening to you.
no, it shouldn't be too much of a problem. Because like swearing is considered bad by like ad friendly guidelines.
Okay.
But one thing is that this is a live stream,
So there's
and
not like
yeah, there's very little monetization on this at all.
and I mean, if you put this up later, you can always just like bleep me out.
But the other thing is that because of like all the COPPA regulations, it's actually not too bad of an idea to make sure that this is not for kids. That this does not fall into the for kids category.
Yeah, I start just doing like that Arthur episode where they're watching like The Sopranos. It's like beep, beep, beep. This is beep and good lasagna.
Shed,
Yeah, what's up?
Pocket Monster Maniac Charon says, you have not properly introduced the latest guest yet.
Oh yeah, that's a
Uh-oh.
good point.
Do I have to do that? Do I have to be all formal?
Well, you don't have to,
Yes.
but it's true that you weren't here when I introduced Infinipede, and so I haven't introduced you.
Okay, so hi. I've done a few designs for the new 151. I'm a pretty recent addition to the team, and on most platforms I go by Banana Meteor, but you can also call me Julie. That's fine.
Yeah, I get called Ness a lot, so if Julie calls me Ness, that's who I am.
Yeah.
Just to clarify.
I have made the seal design, and I did Tentacool, which I think people enjoyed. I hope.
I really like Dugong.
I did.
Oh, thank
I
you.
enjoyed both of them. Yeah, both sets.
I don't know what's next on the plate for me. I think we discussed it, and I've totally forgotten because it's just too far down the pipeline. But I will gladly do more.
Nobody in the project has claimed the Hitmons, so those are up for grabs.
Okay. I could do that. I don't have a particularly strong connection to them, but I'm sure I could come up with something cool.
I have no idea what I do for them, but you know,
Yeah.
some of these I have no idea.
Yeah.
No, Banana Meteor is a Tropius exclusive move.
That's very true.
Before I move on, obviously this is still very rough, so there's going to be plenty of opportunities to fix it up. But is there anything in terms of like proportions or major design elements that I should fix before cleaning up these lines a little bit?
I think it looks fine. And
Yeah,
also,
I
you
mean-
get a lot of freedom with Grimer because, like, it's a pile of goo. So,
Yeah, I have no comments. I mean, if other people want to comment, I'm completely open to design critique.
Cool. Yeah.
One thing I'll say
Go ahead.
is that it has fake out hands. You know, the big type of hands that a Pokemon that can use fake out has usually. Like Dusclops.
I think
why
Muk can't. Muk can use fake out, can't it?
Now
I don't know.
Now it can.
I thought
Make
I thought a
more of
Alolan
double
Muk could.
powerhouse than it already is.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Please nerf Muk.
Don't nerf Muk. Muk is great.
Is it even in Galar? I forget.
No.
I don't think so.
Okay. It was a menace in the last gen of competitive.
I mean, I just have really good memories of my Gen 4 UU team and my Curse Muk. That thing was nasty.
Yeah.
Yeah, I keep up with the Smogon ranks so little that
Yeah,
like
same.
for the most part I don't even know what they stand for. I think I even tried to look it up once and it was just like these are the letters and I was like
All
I
you
don't
need to
what do
know-
the letters mean?
All you need to know is that P is there because they're stinky and bad.
Yeah.
Overused, underused, never used.
And then there's PU and FU, which stand for exactly what you think they stand
Haven't you been doing some competitive battling lately, though?
I have, but only ranked and online competitions. I was actually doing trying to get through my share of battles for International Challenge April. This morning I only got through 6 battles, so we'll see how long this takes. Hopefully I'll have time to do the other 9 for the day, but
Yeah, I just do doubles now, and Smogon is like primarily a singles thing. So
Yeah, that's true.
Right. Plus, it's named after coughing, not Grimer. So.
not Grimer. No, they made a big mistake.
Yeah.
yeah, I haven't actually done I think any online singles at all. I have no idea how well like Dynamax functions in that format. I know people have complained about it a lot.
Dynamax
But...
doubles OU for oh my god. Smogon just bans anything that's like new. They're like this is new and it makes the OU metagame slightly different. So we're gonna ban it.
I don't think Dynamax is legal in any OU right now.
Yeah.
I think they were just kind of like no, because not even the increased power of the moves makes it difficult, but like the boosts that you're getting on it, and being that like it ignored Choice Scarf, like
Yeah.
just made things
Right, because
crazy.
it gives the power boost, but not the
No
restriction. Is that right, or is it the opposite?
Yeah, I don't
There's-
think it gives
there's-
the power boost. Does it?
I think it does. I think that
Really?
if you use like a move before you Dynamax, you're still locked into that when you fall out of
Oh,
Dynamax.
okay.
But like once you're in it, you can use anything. So like
Right.
you could make predictions and be like, oh, this person has a choice item, and it just wouldn't matter because they could click a button and be like, haha. So it's
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unless you've been imprisoned, in which case pressing or you have a choice and then you're not allowed to use the move anymore, like Curse Body or Imprison, then if you press the attack button, then it uses Struggle and you don't have a chance to use
Even
Dynamax.
even if you're Dynamaxed.
right.
I I would agree to disagree with you on that, Didac. Personally,
Oh, what did Didac say?
Nick, that the only really climactic final battle against the main legendary, you cannot argue that Necrozma was not amazing.
Well, I think Necrozma varies a lot depending on what team you have.
True. I did have a lot more trouble with Necrozma, but I don't know why. I had a team that was like pretty good. But...
Because
I wasn't
Necrozma,
grinding, so that thing was tough for me.
yeah, I don't grind like ever, so
Yeah, I wasn't grinding either.
But because Necrozma's like most powerful moves are psychic type, right? I think.
Yeah.
Even Ultra Necrozma.
Yeah.
So if
And
you
Dragon.
yeah, but if you have like a dark type, you're already in a pretty good position because you're immune to the psychic moves.
It's still got other moves.
Yeah, I know, but like when I did my second, I think, playthrough of Ultra Moon, I had a team that was entirely dark types.
Oh, I mean, if you're running mono dark types, then yeah.
Yeah.
I actually ran like a mono, like I called it my mono bug team, but really it was like 4 bug types, the Orchid Mantis Orchid, whose name escapes me.
Lorantis?
And
Lorantis.
yes, Lorantis and Crabrawler, because Crabana
Uh-oh.
Excuse me.
We got you. We know exactly what
you know Yeti Crab
Yeah,
Boy.
yeah.
Yeti Crab Boy, I think personally is like it just doesn't look as good, man. I'm sorry. I love Crabrawler. Crabominable. There we go. I just had to say it slower.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think Crabrawler's adorable and Crabominable is like not quite as cute, but that's another Pokemon I'm sad to see go from Alola.
It could be back.
I hope it and Tangrowth and Magcargo will return because those are some of my favorites who did not make it.
It was so bittersweet when they're like, "Oh, these Pokemon are coming back," and I'm like, "Yay, full decks!" And they're like, "Only some," and it's like, why?
Yeah, it's like, oh,
why would you do this to me? My heart.
I definitely get like why they did it, but it's also like, ooh, like
I get it, but like I know Swadloon isn't gonna be there.
Yeah,
I know
exactly.
this.
I'm surprised Tangrowth like didn't make it because he was such a powerhouse and against like a lot of the Tapus. Yeah, Magcargo needs a buff. Magcargo could have used a Gigantamax form like pronto. He needs an evolution, he needs a regional form evolution, he needs anything.
Yeah.
Like, I've been waiting for a Magcargo evolution / Mega / Gigantamax with a shell made of obsidian glass since, like, Gen 5.
Yeah, Magcargo feels like the perfect Pokemon to be given a regional evolution, a regional form,
because we got Farfetch'd, we got Surfetch'd, and Magcargo's just sitting there being like, hey guys, I was good for exactly 1 gen, and it was against 1 Pokemon.
Yeah, I really enjoyed regionals and Dynamaxes and Megas as mostly a way to give Pokemon that just weren't as competitively powerful new tools. Like, I thought they were great on Mawile and like stuff like Altaria, and then like stuff like Blaziken. It's like, why this? I didn't appreciate giving the buffs to Pokemon that were already very popular and very powerful and competitive.
Rafa, you named 2 of my favorite Megas, but that's just because I'm a bug nerd. I love Mega Beedrill. You can see a lot of Mega Beedrill's influence in my Beedrill design for New 151. Yeah. And you can Pinsir. I love Pinsir.
R.I.P. Never forget. These are great Megas.
Yeah. It sucks so much. I'm keeping my Beedrill in Alola just so I can use the Mega. Same with my Pinsir. Like, I have a 6 IV shiny Pinsir, but he is staying in Sun and Moon.
That's the most stressful part about those features going away, is those Pokemon that really couldn't function without those new buffs.
Yeah.
They don't really have a purpose anymore.
I have a hot
Yeah.
prediction, a spicy prediction. There will
Okay.
be a regional seal and dugong in the upcoming DLC.
I'd
I
Okay.
love
could
to
see that. I
That'd
could
be
see-
great.
My reasoning is it's one, along with I think Arcanine, it's one of the few Gen 1 2-stage Pokemon to not have a regional.
Hmm.
And they love giving stuff to Kanto. They love
Yes,
it.
they do.
Oh yeah,
Oh, yeah.
they 100%.
So
And that would
that's,
be great because I think Dugong and Seal are some of the most criminally under-designed Pokemon out there.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, how's this looking?
Good.
No, that's the one I wanted to hide.
that's good.
I think it's definitely going to be hard on the back to show that those are the can. What are those called? The can holders? Do they have a name? Is it just like soda can holders?
The 6-pack rings. I don't know.
There we go. Whatever.
Yeah.
I don't.
I think that's
yeah.
the name.
But I think
Yeah.
it's going to be hard to show that that's what they are with the limited amount of space you have with the angle he's at. But I think it's totally possible.
It's definitely possible, I think, especially if you could show, like, because they are, like, clear plastic, if you showed sort of the shadow of the ones further away from you underneath the ones that are closer to you.
Yeah, that would look great.
That's
Yeah,
definitely
agree.
doable, and I can like draw that in now so that I remember. on
I'm
the-
sorry, you're not even at that part yet. We're giving you like further
Yeah,
critique. You're
yeah.
doing fine.
No,
Ignore
no,
us.
no. This is good.
You see that one line right there, Shed? That line. Captain
You know.
You know the one.
Somebody mentioned one of the globs on one of its arms being a little too pointy compared to the other.
I'm guessing it's this one here. And yeah, sure, why not? I can change that.
I agree. Charon.
Charon.
Charon. Okay, I don't know
Yeah.
how you pronounce it. How they pronounce it. Yeah, I definitely agree. I'm hoping that we see more just like regular Pokemon or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
in the DLC,
I
right?
would love to see more regional forms because it means more old Pokemon coming back into fashion.
Mm-hmm.
True.
Because I have shiny Slowbro, and shiny Slowking, and no, I have regular Slowking and shiny Slowbro. And I want to bring, what was his name? I think I named him Dew plus Doritos.
Dew plus Doritos.
Yeah, because he's a bro.
Clearly.
Oh, I forgot Doduo and the ostriches from my prediction.
Yeah, they're pretty underloved right now. They could use some stuff.
They could definitely use some love. I mean, I'm not sure they would fit in super well in the, like, in terms of what kind of animals and stuff they're based on.
Mm-hmm.
Right,
But-
they definitely need a regional variant to make them fit.
Yeah, they would need a regional variant.
Does the UK have any flightless birds?
Where are kiwis native to?
New Zealand,
Zealand.
I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Kiwi is also a name for people from New Zealand, so
It is.
Is
Yes.
that true?
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
I would love
All
to
there.
see if they did Australia ever, which I hope they do eventually.
Mhm.
I would love to see a New Zealand expansion pack because I want to see a giant Weta Pokemon. I just want to, or a regional variant that's just Cricketune, but it's like 4-legged and fat, and it just goes. Woo.
it's just like pitch down its cry.
Yeah, pitch down its cry, like way down.
That'd be wonderful.
All right. So if we're happy with this,
Oh, yeah.
I think I will move on to the Muk. Actually, no. Let's do the colors first.
Sure,
Okay.
sure.
Yeah. So normally, like for my usual redesigns, I do the entire thing on stream. Like I finish the stream by finishing the final art. Like that's what I post. I don't touch it after that. But for
Oh, cool.
this, especially because we are probably often going to be doing 3-stage lines. The one
Yeah.
time that I did a redesign for a 3-stage line, beginning to end, it took 8 hours.
Jesus.
Wow.
Yeah, so I don't want to be here for 8 hours. 8 hours was exhausting.
can
So
imagine.
what I'm thinking is that we'll figure out the design, but not necessarily like finish the art. I can finish the art some other
Yeah.
time.
I figured you could throw on like the flats.
Yeah, I can do the colors, but then not do any shading or anything else
Yeah.
beyond that. So yeah, so I'll do the final lines and then we can put in the colors, or maybe not even. Yeah, no final lines. I'll do that later. But we'll do the colors though.
Yeah, throw some flats on there.
Okay. So I'm just gonna steal your colors.
Oh yeah, go for it.
I love
actually
that
just
art.
I didn't use like Muk or Grimer's colors.
Yeah.
Like, so you might want to take like the base from them or kind of combine it with my own colors. But if you like the purples I used, go for it.
I will pick my colors from anything that's making my own colors on the color wheel because my colors look bad and other people's colors do not.
I take, for my sprites, I take colors from official Pokemon stuff for the most part.
Mm-hmm.
For like my original pixel art, I typically just make my own colors.
Yeah. Normally, I start with the official colors, because well, normally I don't have any other colors. Like in this case, I have the colors that you used.
Yeah.
But so normally I start with the official colors and then just kind of adjust from there if necessary.
Yeah. Like when I'm doing commissions and I'm like pixeling someone's OC, I'll take like one of the flat colors. Like I'll take several of the flat colors and then I'll do like a ramp between them and make those colors up myself.
It just feels so good because no one can come in and be like, "You stole my colors." It's like it's a color. It doesn't belong to you.
Be careful. You stole my style, people out there. So.
I know, but
Those people
style is so hard to like put what do I want to say? Put like a face on, like copyright for yourself because it's so subjective. And
some people think you can, and they're strange.
Yeah.
That's all I'll say.
Obviously, there's a lot of haughtiness and ownership in the art world. So
oh, jeez, yeah.
I get it.
So I'm just realizing now that your Grimer doesn't actually have layers like below the chin.
I intended for it to have layers.
Okay, but what I wanted to ask is because Muk has the layers in the colors, so should I put color bands there too?
What do you think? Because that was something I was iffy on.
Okay, well, I'll start without the color bands and I'll put them on, and we'll see which one works better.
Sure.
Yeah.
I don't think that either of them need it to read as those Pokemon. I think the purple and the gooiness is a lot in itself, but who knows? Maybe it'll look better.
I'm just a little I'm just thinking about the color just being maybe too continuous. So just to kind of break it up a little bit, it might be nice to have that extra color on the body. But
yeah, that was my sort of idea with Muk and Grimer, was just to break up the single color body.
Yeah.
With the rust red.
Brand colors definitely are a thing, as you're talking about, but I don't think there's any way for them to copyright them. Of course, there's certain palettes that evoke certain things, like a lot of trans people have kind of like claimed Sylveon as their poster Pokemon just because like its colors are so representative of the trans flag, and I definitely think that's
I one of the rare actually not ban Sylveon.
Okay. I don't know if this happened to you as well, but I cannot understand you. You went incredibly robotic, and if that's what I'm hearing, that's probably what the stream is hearing as well. Okay. Okay. Yep. Nope. Super robotic. um.
Okay, it's better now.
Yes.
Yeah, much better now.
Yes. Yeah. Whew.
Oh yeah, Golden Pelt actually did mention something about trademark colors with specific protections.
I was
That's more like
listening on a
Vanta
stream
Black.
and
Right. I remember the controversy over that, where the guy
Oh,
was like,
yeah.
"You can't use," which is no one should be able to trademark colors. That's insane.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, if you want to trademark like the process behind making it, yeah, sure, whatever, but not the
Yeah.
color itself.
No,
Right.
but that's the thing. Like that's the thing with Vanta Black. It was, it's the rights to use that ink that
Yeah.
Anish Kapoor bought, and again, it's exclusive rights, and he won't share with anyone. So there is a Vanta Black competitor that
Is it the pink?
I think it's from the same people, but I think it's called something like Black 2.0 or something like that.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I want to say both the pink and the black are made by this other artist called Stuart Semple, which hates the dude who copyrighted Vanta Black.
Thank you for actually knowing his name, Julie.
Yeah,
No problem.
I forgot. I just know that there's the guy who made, like, was it Black 2.0 and a pink color, and he basically said that Stuart is the only person who can't use these colors. Everyone else can use these colors. This one guy can't use them.
no. If
He had verification on his site that you were not the other guy, that you were not Anish Kapoor to
Yes.
buy the colors
exactly,
that
yeah, you have
you made.
to
So good.
you have to certify that you are not Anish Kapoor in order to be allowed to buy the color. And I actually was thinking of Vanta Black when I was coming up with my idea for Gengar. That's all I'm going to tell you for now, though.
Oh,
Ooh.
that's like that's a juicy little tidbit.
Yeah. I don't know if I'm doing this might be too much on the mouth here.
It looks like lips. I was
Yeah.
trying to avoid specifically having it look like lips.
Yeah.
I just
thought
wanted to get like
originally, before you told me about the nose backstory, I kind of thought you were going for a cleft lip type of thing.
No, I looked up Swamp Thing because I remember when on like the original design sheet I mentioned Swamp Thing, and I'm like, why did I mention Swamp Thing? And I look at like the nose and I'm like, oh, Swamp Thing.
I think Voldemort would actually be a decent reference for that too. Is that weird to
Oh
say?
yeah, very similar noses.
Yeah.
Maybe
It
I'll
also
just-
makes him look like he's got like the cat mouth, which is kind of adorable.
Right. Yeah, I can see that. Yeah, maybe there's only the one stream of the rust color that goes all the way down to its chin.
Oh, Hidora, yeah. Definitely relevant to this, considering probably some of the inspiration behind Muk.
I'm not familiar with who or
it's
what
a
that is.
Godzilla monster who's basically just
okay.
a sludge monster, sludge kaiju.
I see.
Yeah.
I also wouldn't be surprised, Golden Pelt, if Infinipede was inspired by Nausicaa, because they love Nausicaa.
My favorite Ghibli movie for sure. Was not thinking about it when I made this, but now that you mention it, yes, that does look quite a lot like that.
Isn't it funny how the stuff we like just kind of leaks into our designs sometimes without us
Oh
even
yeah,
knowing?
100%. That is really interesting to me.
Yeah.
When like someone's like, "Hey, this reminds me of that thing," and you're like, "Hey, I really like that."
I love that thing.
Weird.
So how's this?
Oh, that's lovely.
Are we
I like
good?
the one drip coming down.
Yeah.
Should the red on the middle flab go around the back of the flab too, or
Yes,
just on the front?
no, absolutely.
Okay.
I was just like, okay, well, here's the hand, so I'm gonna stop here.
Yeah.
No, it keeps going.
I know that feeling.
There you go. All right. Let's set this one aside. Naming your layers to make sure you can know what's what. Always useful.
Hello, Palette University.
Hey, Gavin, welcome. How are we today? I'm actually really warm. I had to close the window because my downstairs neighbors were having a very ill-advised party.
Uh-oh.
Oh, jeez.
So yeah, so it was loud, and now it's just stuffy in here. But for the purposes of decent audio in the stream, I don't want to open it up. But other than that, I'm good. This is Grimer, and we're about to move on to making this muck here.
Don't let your downstairs neighbors infect you.
Oh, yeah.
Well, we don't like them because they often have parties and they often listen to really loud music, and sometimes late into the night.
Fun. Perfect neighbors.
Perfect.
That
neighbors.
sounds like my my next door neighbors, except they like all the same music that I do, so it doesn't actually bother me so much. Like the first day I met them, the guy had like a Coheed and Cambria tattoo, and I'm like, "Oh, you like
nice.
Coheed?" He's like, "Yeah, I love Coheed."
I have a friend with neighbors like that, and sometimes we hear music through the walls, and we're like, "Oh, it's that song. Good taste."
I've had that before, but not these guys, or these people. I think it's a couple, but I don't know for sure.
It's okay. I always thought guys was gender neutral.
I use it gender neutrally.
Yeah.
I usually, well, I have used it gender neutrally before, and I often do, but I've also...
If I know somebody who doesn't like it, I don't use it for them. But
That's true.
Right.
I mean, if you don't like it, it's valid, but...
Yeah, I don't know anyone who doesn't at the moment, so it's all good.
Yeah, no, I just have been a little bit more conscious of it, so...
Yeah.
Libras, have you considered talking to your neighbors?
Why would I talk to my neighbors when I move in a week?
Well, there you go. That's a good answer.
Well, now it's even more. Now you don't talk to them. Just play loud music outside of their door before you leave. Now it's the gloves are off. But if that happens in your next building, which of course I hope it doesn't, communication is key here.
It's tricky sometimes when you're coming into a situation and your take is, "Hey, you're wrong," because then, like, obviously you have to approach it very tactfully, or the person's going to get defensive.
Yeah.
Oh.
And yeah, I don't know how long have these people been here? A year, maybe. Like, we've been here for over 3 years, so for the most part, we actually had good downstairs neighbors, or at least like downstairs neighbors that didn't impact our life. But yeah, we never got to the point of making a noise complaint, but we've gotten close. Yeah.
I get being timid about it. It's like a whole lot of drama once your neighbors officially know that you're not into their deal.
Yeah.
Like, I like my next door neighbors, but my mom wants me to like report them to animal control because their dog was outside a lot of the time, and she doesn't think it's okay.
I had a similar problem with noise, and I wrote a very kind typed out letter and slipped it under their door, and it worked out fine.
Oh,
I
that's
lucky.
very sweet.
That's good.
Yeah.
You're stronger than all of us.
Yeah, I always think of typed out letters as like passive aggressive, but maybe I've just been like watching too many r/ videos.
I think you're right, but the key is that I have such bad handwriting that if I didn't do that, it would look like I was being super aggressive. Someone who
Be like a
wouldn't know me
ransom
would-
note.
Yes. Exactly. So I went for the better of the two bad options.
Muturks, I personally use gender neutrally. I know there's some people who don't like it being used for them, but it depends on the person.
Yeah.
If someone told me not to, I wouldn't. But as we're referring to dudes who are not present, I'm pretty okay with it.
Yeah.
Fair. Yeah, it's actually the main thing that what I got the closest of calling the building managers on our neighbors was one time. It actually happened during a stream when they were having a very loud fight, and I was like, I could hear the woman screaming things, and I was concerned for her safety. So Jesus. I just like, but at first I was in stream, so I was listening to game music or whatever, and so I had to like take my headphones off and just like listen for a little bit, and it didn't seem like he was being physical with her. He might have been physical, like hitting the wall or something. Yeah, but
I forgot an important part of my story to make sure everybody in the chat stays safe. I knew the neighbor who I talked to, so I knew like that they were.
Okay.
That they weren't like going to go nuts on you.
Yeah. So be sure to be safe.
Yeah.
And
I think that's an important difference. Like, because we've never met them. So
in Latin, share is not gender neutral.
In Romance languages, nothing is gender neutral.
Well, there's a neuter gender in Latin.
Okay. In modern Portuguese, Spanish, I think also Italian, French, there's no gender neutral. No, gender neutral is masculine.
Yeah, Latin surprisingly ahead of its time. Domocat, I usually just draw the back sprites when there's important details on the back that's harder to see from the front. But if that's something that interests people, then I can do that.
And it would be part of, your project eventually if you wanted to do a proper ROM hack with it. You would need the back sprites. But
I would need back sprites for that, and back sprites aren't quite as difficult as they first look. So it's something I would definitely consider once I finished the rest of the sprites. German is a Germanic language, so I don't know about German.
So 002 says that their language is Romanian, and Romanian is a Romance language as well, but they apparently actually do have gender neutral. Hafa, who is also Brazilian, says that mano is kind of gender neutral. Like, it might be used gender neutrally, but it's like using dude gender neutrally.
Yeah, I was gonna ask, is that like dude?
Yeah. Well, well, I guess it's more like bro because it comes from the word for brother.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's sort of like using bro gender neutrally.
Yeah.
I'm not bilingual, but all these languages sounds like dudes to me. I like that we have incorporated the middle finger into this muck. Feels very at home.
Well,
he right now he looks like he's in class and he's like raising his hand to ask a question. He's like, "Excuse me."
Maybe that's what it is. It's not the middle finger. He's just respectfully trying to ask a question. Maybe that's what it always was.
Huh? And we were just dirty kids.
We interpreted it wrong.
Yeah.
Muck has many questions and no answers. Please help him.
These questions have gone unanswered for 24 years.
Someone call on me.
Oh my goodness.
He's just been waiting. The professor has changed like 8 times. That's how long he's been waiting.
That could be a creepypasta. Pokemon creepypasta. Waiting for Professor Oak to call on Muk.
Somebody write that. I need to read it now.
All right, so what should I do with this other arm? Apparently the left arm is the difficult one, always.
Sit down, Muck. You don't need to use the tame.
The other arm needs to be the OK symbol. That's very
Yeah.
clear.
Does Muk have enough fingers?
I don't know.
I did give my Muck a thumb-ish. It's like a goo thing that looks like a thumb.
Right.
Can you make an OK? You can make an OK symbol with 3 fingers. You just need 2. You need 2 to go together, and 1 to stick up.
Yeah.
I promise you don't actually have to meme this if you don't want to, but
Yeah, I just want to see it.
And then can you do Spark?
I tried to make it without fingers.
Star Trek.
It's just goo.
it's so good.
Oh my.
It looks like he's holding a donut.
His cry is just
it.
gotcha.
Made you look. Well, let's see. Let's see with actual fingers.
Could also be a rocker. You could have the other arm in the air too, like head banging.
like he's head banging.
Oh, like devil horns?
Maybe some Muk wear their goo like a mohawk.
Yeah.
There you go.
Oh, like coughing and wheezing. There's a couple suggestions. Why is the Muck Italian now? Hey.
I hate how genuinely good that arm looks. Like, you've rendered it very well, and now it might have to stay.
Hey, Almeida the lasagna.
I guess with 3 fingers, that is what it looks more like. Maybe we just
Yeah.
put some extra drippings of goo here.
Oh, yeah. It's melty cheese. That's where the fat from the Fatberg comes from. It's from the Italian restaurant.
Oh dear. Oh, I just realized your tail actually has like a separate string of goo to it.
Yeah, you don't have to include that detail if you don't want. It's
Yeah,
just I thought it would make it look cool.
I like it. I like it. Yeah.
Sound type Muck confirmed. Domocat says that.
Will sound type ever die? No. Never.
Well, sound type is a thing.
Oh yeah, it's a move flag.
Yeah, and an ability for toxicity, but yeah, and a few other abilities, I guess, with like
Yeah.
soundproof and such.
A couple other Pokemon have the same. Yeah.
It's like they started making it, and then they were like, no. No.
I do kind of like those like move flags though,
Mhm.
where it's just like a bit of like extra like flavor and mechanical fun
I
stuff.
like that too. Plus, throat spray is a really good new item.
Oh,
Love
God,
throat
yeah.
spray.
There should be a bullet type.
Bullet type. There is bulletproof.
Inteleon.
Right. Oh yeah. That's
Inteleon now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My,
to go along with sound moves.
I really want. I did actually make him. I have a chestnut named 50 Cent. So when he gets hit by like a bullet move, it comes up as just says 50 cents bulletproof.
Oh God.
I definitely don't know what you're talking about, and I definitely have not thought about naming my Como 50 cents. No, that's sarcasm. Yeah, that's a good one.
I also have
Remoraid was bullet type until they censored him.
Yeah. Missing though is
This-
sound type.
This one was also a friend's idea. I have a white Kyurem named Snoop Dogg. So when you send him out, it says Snoop Dogg's Turbo Blaze.
Nice.
I know
Yeah,
there's
this is-
a lot of Smash Mouth shooting stars, so they can break the mold on mold breaker Pokemon.
Mm.
Oh my. Oh no.
Now that's
I think
one.
once I
Now
saw-
that's one I like. That's one I appreciate. I
That's
don't.
really good.
I don't
Delete
listen
this,
to very much rap, and that's actually part of the reason I don't like my downstairs neighbors, because that's basically all they listen to, and it's just that repetitive bass line all
Right.
night. Because that's the only thing that comes through, right? It's like the bass line is the only thing you can hear.
Oh, because they have the bass like pumped up.
Yeah.
That may not be the bass line. That might be the kick.
Oh.
Well, I don't know. It's the thing that vibrates my apartment.
Yeah.
Palette University is talking about bird type, which
Oh, yeah.
Missing No was
Mm-hmm.
bird.
Bird.
Well, the thing is that bird type and flying type were going to be separate things at some point in the development, and then they joined the two. And so that's why bird type is still in there as missing no, because it's just kind of leftover.
I'm glad they made that decision because it sounds so bizarre as a type.
Yeah. I mean, flying is like. Personally, if it were me, I would have gone with like wind type, just because I'm that kind of person. But
Right.
Yeah.
flying makes sense.
This is a thing that Charon is going to have a lot to say about. But yeah, because we have dragon, we have bug, like we have types that are the thing that it is. So bird type doesn't feel that out of place compared to bug or dragon.
The thing is, like, bug is a colloquial term already. Like, it's not just insects with sucking mouth parts.
Yes.
We use bug colloquially for a lot of like the animals bug Pokemon are based on. Like maybe not like crabs, but like scorpions. Yeah, that's a bug. To a lot of people.
Yeah, no, we use bug for a lot of
Yeah.
just like arthropods in general.
99% of people aren't going to see a bat and be like, look at that bird. Or like a flying squirrel or a wasp, you know? You're not going to say like, wow, that sure is a...
Well, I guess that's why there was flying and bird. And now that you pointed
Yeah.
out, it is bizarre that like we have bug and bird sounded weird to me, but bug doesn't. Like that's just because I've
Yeah.
been normalized to it for 20 years.
Yeah,
but-
it's...
So,
but it's also, like I said, it's a colloquial term in
Yeah.
the English language anyway. So...
yeah.
I have
about,
some potentially bad news. Apparently Photoshop has crashed.
Oh no!
Oof!
So
You can-
I don't think I've been saving. So, but well, you know, at the worst, I can like pull up the stream and trace over that for Grimer.
It's because we memed on it.
We'll see how much I can recover.
Okay.
Or maybe
I'm so sorry though. That's awful.
Yeah.
Now it's going to be
oof.
Italian forever. I'm sorry. I'm not sorry that it's Italian.
Yeah.
Sorry that
Yep,
it doesn't.
there it goes.
doesn't work.
Okay.
I mean, if
Palette,
it was all on one layer, since you were just doing the underneath stuff, you could just grab the screen grabs from the stream
Yeah.
and throw those in. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe, but we'll see how much I can recover,
Yeah.
if anything.
Yeah, palette, I feel you on that. Like, I'm generally a little, I'm okay with it for insects, but like when people say, oh, it's a bug, and it's like a vinegaroon or something, I'm like, no, that's not a bug. I
Oh.
hate it
Oh,
more
oh,
so when people call them insects, though. Like, that's like, when you say bug, you are at least correct in like a, like I said, like a colloquial sense.
Yeah.
But if you call them an insect, you are not right at all.
Yes, right. It seems that we've actually recovered it
Oh.
perfectly, so that's wonderful. That's
Good job,
That is
Photoshop.
yeah,
one
good,
very
good.
good thing about Photoshop.
Yeah.
You only screwed up a little.
Yeah.
But what I was gonna say is, so I've been playing Animal Crossing, and this is my first time playing Animal Crossing.
Welcome,
And
one of
yes.
us.
Oh,
Yes.
hello. Welcome to.
But one thing that's been really bothering me is that in the Critterpedia, you have, it's not divided by like aquatic animal and bug even. It's fish and insects.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And
Ah, yes.
under fish, there's things like squid and the sea butterfly, which is
Not
a mollusk. I
Yeah,
think.
it's a gastropod. I think. No,
Yeah.
not a gastropod. It is a mollusk. You're right.
And
I said
and like a turtle, And then under insect, there's not just the kind of obvious, spiders and scorpions are in there, but also things like a hermit crab,
Yeah.
which is like at least it's an arthropod.
Yeah.
Like it's not an insect, but at least it's an arthropod. But also the snail is in there, and the snail is so the snail is an insect, but the squid, which
The
is
snail also only shows up when it's raining.
The worst one by far is the frog, which is not only not a fish, but there's also frog villagers. So, like, what differentiates between the frog you can catch and the people frogs?
If you look in the museum, in the fossil section, and you go to your right, there is a tree of life setup where it shows that each of the animals have like they're like how humans, like one of our ancestors is like the Epithecus, which you can get I think a skull of in the game.
Yeah.
That the frog in the game that you catch is like basically the equivalent of a monkey or an ape to us, because all of the animals in Animal Crossing are sort of like the sapiens version of their given animal. At least that's my interpretation. That's what I have gleaned from this like tree of life.
I'm reminded of a bit in BoJack Horseman where there's like a chicken restaurant, but of course it's a universe of anthropomorphic animals, and there's like a commercial on TV that are like, these aren't friend chickens like you'd find at work. These are food chickens.
It's kind of how I see eating fish, though. It's like, well, I have my friend fish at home, and then there's the one because I need protein.
I can't think of what else to do with this arm, so I'm inclined to actually, just keep it in that position.
Do it.
Oh boy.
Because I feel
what could go wrong? Nothing.
Or it's how Arthur owns a dog that looks quite a lot like his dog friend Binky.
Or I guess Pluto and Goofy.
That was mentioned, yeah.
Yeah, so the thing, going back to this design, the thing with the arm is that because one of them is up, I feel like the other one just being straight down like you have in your sketch, that would look awkward. It would just look like it's limply there.
How about maybe if you put the other one up, like I know you've already drawn one up, or you could have this. You could have the one you have up now being up.
Yeah.
And you can remove the Mamma Mia. You can keep the rest of that arm and have it be like reaching. Sort of like how Muk, how the FRLG Muk's art has it reaching forward with one arm. Though it's reaching forward quite a lot, having it be like bent down at the quote unquote elbow and then like reaching forward, kind of like Grimer's is.
Mm-hmm.
That's one of my ideas.
Maybe I'll put I'll flip which arm is up and then I'll make one arm.
Yeah, that was my other suggestion.
Up.
Was flip which arm is up and have the other one reaching forward. Maybe like a Alolan Mux even.
Yeah.
Just do the whole YMCA. That's where he goes after school. He doesn't get his question answered.
I'm gonna have to raise it up a little bit higher so that it doesn't
like a field goal.
Interfere with the head. I have to. Oh, it selected a different brush. I was like, what the? What's this line? It's because Photoshop crashed and a different brush was selected.
Yeah, Felix, I think you have actually made a good point. Though I am definitely going to wait until we have like the whole thing, until he has the whole thing sketched out. And
the tail
Julie...
isn't gooey enough.
Is
that the one?
Yeah. like, I had it be, like, really wiggly to kind of signify it's a trail of goo.
Mm-hmm.
But I know you're doing, like, a different pose.
little
Julie, Charon's asking about your name.
My name?
You should tell the story behind this.
My name as in, like, Banana Meteor?
Yes, as Banana Meteor.
Okay, so the story
What's
behind
the story
Banana
behind
Meteor...
your name as Julie?
Thanks, my parents picked it.
My parents thought it was cool. That's a question. So the idea behind Banana Meteor is Tropius is in desperate need of a buff. But like, is a Mega right? Is a Dynamax right? No, what's right is a signature move, which is like Draco Meteor, but he summons down a giant meteor that's just bananas that are like really pushed close together, like a big hunk of bananas. From space. That's it. That's the whole story.
So, I don't know, that move idea sounds really bananas. I'm sorry. I had to, okay?
Yeah, now that you mention it, like, now that a lot of like in the gen after a signature move is like created, they usually like to give it to other Pokemon. So like, what else would get Banana Meteor?
I don't know if there's anything else really fruity. Like, Cherubi's kind of fruity and then becomes unfruity.
Hey, Cherim does need a buff.
That's true. Banana
Cherim
Meteor, but pink.
It is very fruity.
I don't know if Tsarina would use Banana Meteor, but it is definitely
She
fruity.
is a fruit.
Yeah.
She is a fruit.
That is true. I do love the name Dropkick. I feel like that's so clever.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah,
Well,
Dropkick.
I was
Dropkick
thinking
is great.
Alolan and regular Exeggutor. They're both palm trees.
I'm very disappointed
Right,
in
Exeggutor, yeah.
Darude Sandstorm's new name. For his signature move, the just jungle heal. It's like so nothing.
like, oh, that's so sad. Oh, Julie, what if Appleton got Banana Meteor?
That would be lovely. That'd be perfect. There's the fruit we need.
Alchemy could get it. Ooh. Honestly, that's
only
just like
in the yellow
your
sweet
move.
form.
That's just your
Yeah.
move anyway, because it's just all the food Pokemon would have it.
I know. I love food Pokemon deeply.
So does Indigo, my wife. all the
She's got
food
good
Pokemon.
taste.
Yeah, she has a team right now that is her team party, because it's
Oh
because
my
it's a
God.
tea party. So you know, there's obviously Poltergeist and so basically like the whole theme is the tea party. So she's got a Gardevoir because it's dressed fancily. There's the Alcremie because it's cake or cream, I guess, that you would have with it. There's the, I think it's an Appleton because again it's just like a dessert that you would have with tea, and there's Vanillux because you'd have ice cream with the apple turnover, I guess.
I did also used to have a food team, but unfortunately I can't bring it over to Galar because I had like Miltank on it, and I think I had like Rotom Fridge, stuff like that. Theme teams are great. I love them dearly, and I can't bring up theme teams without talking about my favorite theme team in the world, which a friend of mine made, which the theme was Pokemon that look like Rhydon but aren't.
I remember this. Oh my God.
Okay, so who was in that? What was that team?
I believe both Nidos were on the team. I think there might have been an Eviolite like Rhyhorn.
Okay.
I think Haxorus was there, which is like very loose, but
Yeah, sure.
It does kind of look, yeah.
Yeah.
yeah. It was a good team. I miss it.
Tea time, team time.
So how's this looking?
Looks pretty good to me.
I tried to make
I
the
would-
tail look a little bit slimier at the tip.
I would shift the left arm back a little bit because I feel like his shoulder is too close to his mouth right now.
You are right there.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I think it looks very good.
Cool. Does it still look like it's trying to ask a question? And,
Absolutely.
Yes.
And is that a good thing?
Yes.
Sure.
Two separate questions.
Definitely.
All right. Well, if that's a good thing,
Oh
then
yeah, they could put Colossal on the team.
oh yeah, Colossal belongs on that team for sure.
Definitely. I've done theme teams. Like I did my Arthropod theme team, but that was not like a competitive team.
Mm.
I've done like just because I like to name Pokemon after like characters I like. I've ended up having enough for like certain teams.
Right.
Like I had an Enigma team at one point, I think. It wasn't very good because like the main thing was just like giving it was using like I don't remember. I think it was giving Nidoking like plus from a Dedenne and then just like spamming special moves.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I think my favorite theme team was my shiny green pun team.
Yes.
Which I also
Shiny
miss.
green pun team?
Yes. So
Okay.
every Pokemon was a shiny Pokemon that was green that had a pun name of the original Pokemon's name. So
Okay.
I had Mammalime, the Mamoswine.
Mm.
I had Elecmos, the Electros. I had Nidogreen.
This is I mean, not too surprisingly, but this is the most Julie thing that I've ever heard.
Oh yeah.
Which of course is why I had it.
I remember one of them. I remember Registeel.
Registeel was there.
Mm.
I had Salamint. God, I love that team.
I don't think
Hello,
I've ever done
Tommy.
like a proper theme team. But sorry, what were you saying?
Oh, I was just saying hello to Tommy, who is asking what are we
hello,
doing to
Tommy.
change Muk and Grimer? Well, we're making them, what aren't we doing to change Muk and Grimer? You know,
We're adding
That's
some
the real
choice
question.
memes to these Pokemon, which were unmemed before.
Yeah. I'll show Grimer in a moment. Yeah,
give him the Fatberg.
right. Yeah, I haven't done really any theme teams. I think the closest was when I did a mono dark team, and this was in Ultra Moon. So like I didn't bring any Pokemon in. It was all Pokemon that I caught, except maybe. No, I had the starter too. Yeah, because I just picked Litten for that. So basically, I only allowed myself to catch Pokemon that either were or became dark types. So that was really tough early on, like battling Hala. that was tough, but after a while, everyone was up to speed in terms of levels and such, so it wasn't too bad.
Yeah, I did like mostly bugs for my playthrough of Sword,
Mm.
and I ended up with like 2 non-bugs, I think, and it was Surfetched and something else.
Was that your first or a subsequent playthrough?
It was my first playthrough.
Oh wow! So
I like
okay.
doing like 99% bugs. That's just how I am.
I don't think I've ever done a theme team for a playthrough because I'm about to say something very divisive. I don't like the playthroughs of Pokemon games. I'm just there for the post game and the designs, and it's totally fine if you are into playing through them, but I find them very samey.
I think it
absolutely. They are
depends on
very
what you're
samey.
doing. Yeah, they are very samey, but like I always enjoy either my first playthrough or my first playthrough in a while.
I just want to get to the end game, start breeding my perfect things and my shinies, and then I'll feel good.
Well, yeah, that for me, like that's part of the reason I don't look at the at news for so long. I don't look at anything for months ahead of release, so that I can do a playthrough and have everything feel fresh.
Yeah.
Like
For me,
like obviously the gameplay isn't fresh, but at least the designs and such will be.
Yeah. For me, I find myself having to look at, even if I decide to go in blind, like I went in pretty blind on Sword and Shield, in terms of like leaks and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But I find myself having to look as I go through the game Because, for example, I would have missed my second favorite Pokemon, new Pokemon from this gen, the Fire Centipede, Centiskorch. If I had not looked, because it's like a 1% catch rate, I wouldn't have even known it existed.
To be fair, you can catch it in the challenge in the Fire Gym.
Which
know,
is when I
like,
caught it, yeah.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. I actually went in because I wanted to get it ASAP. So I was just running in that grass like forever. Because I was like,
really
there
low
is a
count
centipede
rate.
in this gen. Even though they got rid of my second favorite, Scolipede, which I hope we get
Cut
back
a
at some point.
centipede and a centipede. It all works out.
Yeah, I mean, I'm hoping that like there's a Pokemon game where we have like Scolipede and Centiskorch.
Yeah, the reduced decks really hurt theme teams, because if you want to do something like Super Mimi, you if you want to get every Pokemon with a mustache on your team now, like, how are you gonna do it?
Yeah, I'm probably still gonna be playing, like, honestly, if I do theme teams, it's probably gonna be in Sun Moon.
Yeah.
Yeah. I personally don't really have anything against the reduced decks. Like,
It's like,
in
I
principle,
understand
I
why
don't.
they did it, but it's hard to handle, you know?
It didn't break the game for me, and I think it's especially not a huge deal if you're playing for the playthrough to enjoy the story and the gyms and all that.
Yeah.
But since I'm there for post game and sorting out teams that way, I didn't like it. It definitely hurt me, and I understand why other people were hurt by it.
It hurts the post game. You're right about that completely, and it hurts. And I understand that people say, "Oh, it could make for a better competitive metagame," but like, it doesn't necessarily.
I think
like, that's not the reason they reduced it.
If you're playing stuff like OU, then absolutely, because like there's so many things at this point that you only have a pool of like the 50 best things if you're playing at a top tier level that you're gonna pick from.
Well, the thing is, Smogon could always make bans and change those tiers, or like not ban certain things, and then OU would change.
They could make their own format for that.
Yeah, OU isn't an unchanging beast.
Right. But I think it's especially important if you're like making really goofy teams to have that full roster, because like then the things that are super OP aren't really going to affect you as much when you're playing competitive.
Yeah,
you're not going to see those in every match. You're going to see things like.
Well, the thing is, I still see frickin' Dragapult in every match.
True.
It's not like they didn't just put in something like stupid and then they take out Pursuit when like the most powerful Pokemon in the meta is a ghost type. Like, okay.
God, I miss Pursuit. I also, in a weird way, a necessary evil, I miss Hidden Power, even though
I do
like,
too. It makes Pokemon completely unusable. They should have just changed what it did. They should have just changed
how to get
it was. Yeah, how to get it.
Because
they should have just been like,
getting that perfect Hidden Power was such a struggle, but there are Pokemon with move pools that are just dying for it, especially in lower tiers.
They need to introduce like at least like the popular Hidden Power types that some Pokemon really need, like HP Ice. Why didn't they make a move that was just like new HP Ice, but it was just like it's an Ice type move that Manectric can learn and some other stuff.
Yeah, and like I know it's not in this game, but like Lilligant without Hidden Power, like what do you run on it? Grass, and grass. That's what you get.
Yeah. It's like, can't we just have like, what is it, like an ice move that's just like somewhere between Powder Snow and Ice Beam, and it's like Frosty. It's not Frosty.
Right. Well, at the same time, I understand a casual player like Hidden Power makes no sense for you if you're like, what is this? What does it do? I don't know what type it is. I don't know what this is. I don't know why it's this on this Pokemon and it hurt me this time and it didn't hurt me this other time.
But like Pokemon, but they should have at least introduced an alternative.
Yeah, I feel that.
Pokemon recognizes that it's not only the casual players who play, and even though they're a small percentage, they're a very vocal and important percentage. Like, there would be no VGC without non-casual players.
Yeah. I think one of the reasons that Pokemon is so big and has so much staying power is because people have decided to play it in unique ways and in a competitive format.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at some of the games that have become so popular, it's because they're played in really unique ways, like Minecraft.
Right.
Yeah. Like, and even though Pokemon is less of like a creative focused game than Minecraft, it's like
It's that
there are-
freedom
Yeah.
to the player to let them do what they want that really gives these games longevity. And the same way that like
Exactly.
Animal Crossing is still huge right now.
Yeah,
because
yeah.
everyone's doing different things with it.
Did you guys see like the protesters, like
I did see that.
with the pictures of the governor whacking her with a net?
I had not seen that.
and now you're gonna ban me, and you're gonna have to apologize for a tough live stream moment.
How's this looking?
It's looking pretty good.
I love the mouth.
He's a lumpy boy.
I maybe want to see the tongue in the furthest mouth slot as well. I don't know why. I just feel like it looks less connected to the mouth when you don't see that little
I
bit
get
of tongue.
it. Just like a little bit of tongue in
Yeah.
the our leftmost part of the mouth.
Yeah.
Yeah. That works.
I definitely get that, Charon. But it's like the fact of the matter is you're not going to see too many, even if they had everything. Like, I wouldn't care too much if like ranked battles were only like a certain amount of Pokemon, but they still had like everything available for like free battles.
Also, a lot of people just like want to pet their Pokemon in a
I
can.
know. Why
You know?
can't I eat curry with Tangrowth? He would love it.
My favorite Pokemon in the world is not very popular, and I realize it doesn't affect many people by not having it in the game because like there was a poll on Reddit too when they had the Dex cut where it was just like, hey, pick your favorite Pokemon out of like all the Pokemon that there are, and I think like 4 didn't get voted for at all, so which shows that like there's just huge range around what people care about. But my favorite had about 10 votes, and that's fine. I'm not upset by that, but it does mean that like, when am I going to see that Pokemon again? How many gens will it be?
That's
you know?
something that's bothering me is if they're going to continue doing partial dexes. When am I going to see Scolipede? When am I going to see Magcargo? When am I going to see Tangrowth? It's a little scary, honestly, and I know
Well,
scary's maybe oversaying
like,
it.
but
Will
some
we ever get the opportunity to make these teams of our 6 favorites? Like, who knows?
yeah.
Well, some of the less popular Pokemon were included. Like there's Seaking, there's Maractus, and like I like Maractus, but a lot of people like
I like
it's very forgotten. So like I don't think that it's a lost cause. I don't think that it's always going to be exclusively a popularity contest.
Yeah, one of my faves that made it in Whiscash, and I think that's probably because of like the channel Catfish and all. But like, I love Whiscash, man. My favorite Gen 3 Pokemon.
It is a popularity contest a little bit in that I never expect them to cut like Eevee or Charizard or Gengar or Gardevoir or Pikachu.
Really.
There's that just like
Well, Pikachu, Meowth, Eevee, and Charizard are basically
They're
the mascots, so they're not going to go
Right.
anywhere. Period.
Yeah,
But
which Eevee is 7 spaces, not 7 even now. It's more than that. But Eevee's like nearly 10 spaces that could be taken up with things I actually like. I'm sorry, I'm an Eevee hater.
it's fine. I understand, but like it's always going to
Eevee
be there
hater.
because of its huge
Yeah,
popularity.
I really just don't like. You've heard my opinions on Eevee. You know. I hate that it's the same body type every time when it's supposed to be like mutating.
yes,
Right.
and we're going to work on that. I'm actually really excited to do Eevee when we get there. Unfortunately, it'll take a little while still, but
It's going to, yeah. But yeah, I mean, we'll at least have a good range of people with varying opinions about Eevee to chime in on those Eevee designs.
yeah. Okay,
So that'll be interesting.
yeah, for sure. Can we do colors on this?
I'll go for it.
Okay. Just making sure that there isn't anything else I should change before we go ahead.
It looks really good.
Yeah.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, Jamie, I appreciate normal types quite a lot in general. I was the normal type gym leader at a convention Pokemon League event.
Mm.
And that was a lot of fun.
God, I missed that event.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had that
now
event.
We're getting demonetized.
We had that event planned this year too, but it just can't go through with it with the current state of the world.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Could always do like an online thing. I've always thought it would be fun to do like a random mystery egg tournament with like us and our friends. That'd be a ton of fun.
Something I've really wanted to do for a while is make draft cards for my competitive Pokemon and put them all into a pool, and then like
Ooh.
I'd do that with a few other friends, and we'd all just like put them like packs, and we'd draft our teams, and we'd.
Oh, that sounds fun.
Wouldn't that be cool?
Yeah,
from
honestly.
like the Pokemon you've already.
From the
bred that
Pokemon
you've
I've already
prepared.
made competitive.
Yeah.
So you like draw a card, and you're like, okay, here's this thing's EV spread, here's its move set. Pick that, pass the rest on, and you just like make a tournament that way. It would be a lot of setup, but a lot of fun.
If you wanted to do that on like Sun and Moon, I would love to throw like some like competitive Pokemon into that draft pool, because I want to see the person who has to like last pick, last pack my Eviolite Skitty.
My special sweeper Scyther, someone gets this and they're like, why?
Just the pack that accidentally contains both Eviolite, Cosmic Power Passer, shiny Skitty named Gazorpfield.
Sounds wonderful.
He's amazing. I love Gazorpfield.
I don't have any competitive Pokemon before Sword and Shield, so.
Oh.
Okay, not any.
Well, welcome.
Not any. Like, I did prepare a Mega Gardevoir and a Chandelure. I think that's it.
Oh, nice.
Well, I guess I had my Umbreon, but like I wasn't. None of them I was preparing for competitive. It was just I was breeding for shinies, and I just all three of those are shinies, and they have good
Might as well make
IVs
them.
because might as well exactly.
Yeah, exactly. Might as well.
I have so many years of competitive Pokemon. I remember hatching for Jolly Starly in 9th grade history class, just like underneath the desk. I was like running back and forth, like I'm gonna get Jolly soon enough. So like just years of these build-up things.
I only really started doing competitive breeding in earnest in Gen 6, but when I have some really good like shiny competitive Pokemon from Gens 4 onward, because I love RNG abuse.
Like what?
Like having one of those like RNG programs where it's like tap the bottom screen 50 times before you pick up this egg and it will be a shiny Oddish, and I'm just like, oh heck yeah. Like going through
I've never heard of this.
It's really interesting. It's basically you're taking the fact that random number generators are not completely random.
Okay.
You are like finding your initial seed when you start in. Oh, trust me, Sharon. She did that too. She tried to teach me to Poke Radar. I was terrible at it.
I spent so many hours of my life Poke Radaring. Okay, sorry. Continue, Infinipede.
Anyways, you're starting. You have a like certain way to find the starting seed based on like how things are arranged in the game, like the certain amount of like notes in a Chatot cry, stuff like that. It gets weird. You have to like your regular ID, your secret ID, you put all those in, and you put all this information into the program, and the program spits out a list of where your shiny or your 6 IV or whatever Pokemon will be, based on how many frames you need to advance. And to advance frames, there's usually certain things you can do in the game to advance the frame by 1 reliably.
Okay.
For example, in Diamond and Pearl, it was you would tap on the friendship checker and make the Pokemon jump. I think was one of them. And you just keep doing that until you went from the frame that you were on initially to the target frame. and then at the target frame, you would pick up an egg, and you'd hatch the egg, and it would be the right Pokemon. You do that with legendaries too. That's actually how I got and not just legendaries. It was also the Ultra Beasts in Sun and Moon. That's how I got a 6 IV. I think it was actually 5 IV, something like that. But it was the jellyfish one, but it had the right hidden power, a bunch of IVs.
Wow.
Just as an aside, I'm really sorry if you can hear these sirens outside my house. Pretty sure the world's ending. Not gonna look outside. Don't care.
That's what Syracuse sounds like every day.
Right?
I actually couldn't hear the sirens until you pointed it out.
Yeah,
when you pointed it out, I was like, oh yeah, I can hear sirens now.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess this RNG stuff might be related to something that I read about for shiny eggs in Sun and Moon, where
very likely, yes.
You could basically hatch Magikarp in order to get to the point where one of them is shiny, and then you like reset, change the parents, and the same number of eggs later will be also shiny.
That's very likely, yes.
Yeah.
That was true. I never utilized that with Magikarp because I felt a little like I was gaming the system when I did that. Because, like, obviously people feel different ways about the legitimacy of these things, and if you feel fine with it, that's fine, and, like, that's however you want to play this game is cool.
Yeah.
But what I did do is sometimes I would be breeding for a specific shiny, and I would get it, but it wouldn't have hidden ability, and it would be totally useless competitively without its hidden ability. So what I'd do is I'd say, I guess I'm just going to switch to different, like, Pokemon and get something that I want shiny that's good without hidden ability, because it was always set to be, like, hidden or not as well.
Yeah,
yeah, that makes sense, actually.
Yeah.
Oh, I used SV Exchange a ton. That's how I got most of my shinies, and honestly, I liked the community they had there, and I never really thought of it too much as cheating, because, like, you're not always, like, giving yourself a shiny or giving someone else a shiny.
Right.
Yeah. I am currently a SUNY ESF student, and God, I hate this city.
Like, to me, that kind of exploit, I would consider it cheating because you're going outside of the game.
The intentional parameters of the game.
Okay,
Yeah.
I looked outside my window. There's 3 full-size fire trucks in front of my house. Am I gonna die?
In front of your house?
Yeah, I'm sure it's not my house on fire, but like they just scooted by. I would know. I would know.
I was gonna say, like,
I would hope so.
Did, like, Grant light something up, but he doesn't live next to you anymore, so...
Okay, sorry. Continue.
Ooh.
What was I saying?
I don't know. That was really distracting. You were
I
talking
am
about,
so
like,
sorry.
exploits
sorry.
and stuff.
Oh yeah, like I don't think, like, I would consider it cheating because it is outside of the way the game was intended. But
Yeah.
like, I don't think that it is necessarily, like, wrong to do that.
Yeah.
It's kind of like
The thing
the
about, like-
time skipping dialogue for Animal Crossing. Like, is it okay to time skip? And as someone who's completely new to this game, like, yes, it's cheating. Yes, it's okay to do that.
Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with it too.
Yeah, like, I don't put a lot of stock into, like, intended play, because I think games are like a work of art, so there's no real right way to, like, play a game, whereas, there is more like there's not really the right way to interpret a piece of art.
Right,
But,
art belongs to the people who enjoy it, not its creator.
Yeah, but I mean, when it comes to, like, competitive or, like, if you're trying to, like, equalize people and you'd want to make sure people aren't getting, like, unfairly benefiting from certain things, yeah, I understand.
Yeah.
And
And that's why.
yes, I did. I believe I did, actually.
But
I'm trying to remember what I named him. No, wait. No, I don't think I did, actually. I got a shiny Shinx from somebody else. I think I got it from Banana Meteor, actually.
Oh, I think I got one from Poker Radar that I gave to you.
Yes, you did. And his name was like Toko or something?
Something like that.
So it was like a Japanese name, yeah. Sharon, did you ever get a shiny Swirlix from Swirlix or Nincada from SVE? Because that would have been me.
Ah, Swirlix. What a perfect Pokemon. What a flawless human being.
Swirlix
I love
itself,
Pokemon.
I can give you that.
Listen, Slurpuff is my second favorite Pokemon, and we can go down right now if you want.
Yeah, I like Slurpuff's original design, personally, but that's just me.
Well, people can be wrong.
Oh, man.
No, but people have different tastes. Like almost every Pokemon is someone's favorite. So obviously,
Right.
like just because
Yeah.
I say that this Pokemon is badly designed, it doesn't mean that there aren't people out there who don't like it.
It also doesn't necessarily mean it's badly designed, because design is like
So subjective.
so
It's
yeah.
true.
Design
Yeah,
is
absolutely.
for the most part very subjective.
Yeah.
Though
And,
like there are things that you can say, yeah, that's not good design, but like
You and I can sass each other all we want about Pokemon designs, but like at the end of the day, all of these mean something to someone.
yeah.
Absolutely.
Like, God, I hate Lantern, but like if somebody said Lantern was
Are you still there? I can't hear you.
They cut out for me too.
Okay.
The Lantern gods got them.
Yeah.
They heard that and they
No.
were like, "Oh."
I'm sorry, Discord does that to me sometimes.
Okay.
No, it's
Can you hear me
fine.
now?
You're
Uh,
good.
That's what I
No,
get.
but clearly someone out there doesn't want you shitting on Lantern.
Yeah, on Lantern, yeah. I like the like sort of cosmic horrorness and the biological weirdness of anglerfish, and I feel like none of that got into Lantern, and I
Right.
just think it's unfortunate.
It's very cutesy.
It is. It's a very cutesy take on a very ugly and disgusting animal, and I like ugly and disgusting animals and ugly and disgusting Pokemon. I'm not
Yeah.
like Bogleech, where I think that cutesy Pokemon are the devil. I like cutesy Pokemon, but I like the nasty looking ones too.
Yeah, I get you.
Yeah, and I feel like we haven't gotten a nasty looking anglerfish yet, and that's a travesty.
We should get one.
Regional variant Lantern
With giant teeth.
with giant teeth, and the male is like tiny.
Right.
No, there's no males. The male is a held item.
Consumable held item.
Oh God. No, I was just thinking like a held. It's a held item you can put on the female.
Yeah.
Slurp it right up.
Is the anglerfish one of those where like the male just attaches itself to the
Yes,
female and
it
gets kind of
basically-
incorporated? Yeah.
It turns into just like a pair of testicles attached to the female.
Right.
Fun.
Yeah.
I'm sure Pokemon could come up with something great to do with that.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
I agree.
Like an ability or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I would absolutely love to do that. Like as one of my Fakemon, that's something that I should just do. I should just make a regional variant Lantern for my Fakemon. Why haven't I thought of this before?
Well, there you go.
I want to see it now with its big gross teeth.
With its big gross teeth, and the male is just a held item.
Yeah.
That's something that sounds like something the Vicular would do. I gotta hit him up about that.
I mean, Pokemon already hates men. It has 2 Pokemon that cannot evolve if they're men.
I am making a male evolution for Combi called Pharodrone, so that's
Yeah.
A male evolution for Combi based on what? A wasp or something?
Yeah, more like a wasp. Yeah, it's just like a drone bee. He's like a princely bee. He's like a princely wasp man.
Okay.
Shed, I know earlier you were talking about how you like to go into Pokemon games very blind, which is something I also like to do myself.
Mm-hmm.
But I do think a downside of that is I had a friend who went blind into Sun and Moon, and he was like, yeah, well, none of my Pokemon are evolving. And I was like, oh, well, like, let me help you out since I'm a little further than you in the game. What do you have on your team? And he had Charge-a-Bug, Brawler, and and a male Salandit. And he didn't know.
Ouch.
How can you know?
Yeah. I sort of had that problem. At some point in my playthrough, I decide, okay, it's okay for me to look up stuff now. So, but I did go a long time with a charge bug that wouldn't evolve, and I had no idea what to do with it.
I love Vikavolt.
Oh yeah, no, Vikavolt is great.
Yeah.
Yeah. Most of the Alolan bugs are fantastic,
Oh yeah, 100%.
if not all.
I agree. I loved all of them. Like that was the best gen for bug types by far.
Bug types are like a fine wine. Like every gen, they get better. I swear.
Oh yeah, definitely.
For me, it's Alola and Unova that have the bugs.
Unova had great bugs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I know you like Swadloon. I personally like Leavanny.
Oh,
Yeah.
they're both great. I
Like
like the whole line.
I don't like them a ton, but like if we're talking like Unova Pokemon, I like it's cute. It's if we're talking about like cute bug Pokemon that like conventionally cute that is, because I'd be like, oh, Grubbin's so cute, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, and one of my favorite things about the Swadloon line too is I really like 3-stage lines where each Pokemon looks related, but they're very visually distinct. They each also feel like their own thing, which I also feel like Ghastly's line does an excellent job of.
Oh, yeah.
Everyone's really distinct, but they have the through line of like the color and the ghostly theme. And I much prefer that to lines like Charmander, where like Charmander and Charizard are very different, but Charmeleon's just kind of like this middle, awkward, doesn't really
Yeah.
have like. I'm sure someone's favorite out there is Charmeleon, but it doesn't have as much of a distinct voice as the other
Yeah.
lines in the line do.
Definitely.
It's one of those the same but bigger
Yeah.
evolutions.
And like lines like Leavanny's, like they're really hard to pull off coming from like a Fakemon design perspective. But
Right.
when you do pull one off, it looks really cool.
I
Yeah.
agree.
Yeah, pretty
Which is
sure
why
I had
even though
I had
Swadloon's my
Leavanny on.
favorite, like
Yeah.
I think the whole line's great. I love it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, pretty sure I had Leavanny on my team like beginning to end in
Oh, yeah.
in my first playthrough of Black or White, whichever one it was.
Good choice.
Shane, this is oil, not spaghetti sauce, though. We did have him making like an Italian chef's kiss thing.
We talked about food Pokemon too much. It's bleeding
Yeah.
into our art.
Well, I realized earlier that we actually didn't like play with the colors for Grimer, so this is something that we can do here. And
Yeah, I honestly
see if maybe a different combination of colors might look
it's-
more.
It might be better. I was just trying to make it look not too much like the Alolan form. I actually took the colors I used directly from a photo of the BP oil spill, so probably
Okay.
adjusting them to look maybe either a little brighter or maybe a little more rusty might work better. There's like a couple routes we could take there.
Yeah.
Looking good.
Yeah, I mean, to me, like oil, always, I always think of like the rainbow colors,
Yeah,
which
same
is
here,
what
but-
the Alolan Muk did so well.
Which is why I was trying to do something different with it.
Fair,
Was
yeah.
I wanted to keep it to be like this is its own muck. You know?
Yeah. What if we went in a more like greenish direction?
Green. Like the shiny? You can give it a shot, yeah.
I don't know off the top of my head what shiny Muk looks like, but sure.
He is a kind of mossy green.
It's green,
Okay.
which means everyone hates him.
He is a beautiful
don't
shiny.
get that.
I actually really like shiny muck.
I'll explain it to you very simply. People don't like the color green. That's
Well,
it.
People do like the
well,
color green.
people-
Try liking orange. People don't like orange.
Well, in both of those cases, people are wrong.
I
yeah.
agree.
Like the only other person who I know who likes orange is Julie's husband.
Well, it's not like orange is my favorite color or anything, but it's a nice
Yeah.
color.
The white Felix, the white goo is a fatberg. It is a buildup in that happens in sewers, made out of cooking oil / cooking fat and quote unquote flushable wipes.
Ew.
I think
Yeah.
just all kinds of fat, really.
It says I did actually a little reading on Wikipedia, and while it is all kinds of fat, the largest contributor to that fat is restaurants.
Interesting.
Right. Yeah. Okay.
So the burger fat makes the fatberg.
Yes. The fatty burger mix.
It's full circle.
I assume there is a fast food chain in the U.S. Well, there's one here, and I assume it's also in the U.S. called Fatburger.
I think I've heard of it.
I
feel
feel like that. I feel like that sounds more like a meme than a real thing. But...
It does sound more like a meme than a real thing, but it's a real thing, at least here in Canada. And I was super put off from it just because of the name.
Yeah, like why would you name like?
Yeah, fat burger, like I guess you're emphasizing like the thickness of the patty or something, and the patties are
why
big.
not call it just thick burger?
From when you've given up on trying to delude yourself that you're eating healthy, you go to Fatberg.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, it does sound like it would be like a Simpsons restaurant.
Yeah.
It does, yeah.
Right next to Duff Beer, Fatberg.
All right, I think we're close to finishing this up here. But let's play around with the colors. We can do both of them.
Yeah, sure.
But since you started with the Muk design, let's figure out the Muk colors, and then we can adapt Grimer as needed.
Yeah. Like Grimer's purple, I just went with a lighter purple than Muk.
Right. Actually,
So I
let me
figure we
get...
follow the same sort of thing.
Yeah.
Palette, he said it was a Canadian chain. So I have personally never seen it.
Yeah, I don't know if
US.
it's a Canadian chain, but it exists here.
Okay. Like, I mean, I've seen a Tim Hortons in the United States.
Right, yeah.
Because, you know, I've been in, like, I live in New York, I've been in, like, Vermont, but I've never seen a Fat Burger. Hello, 150 Gallade.
Oh, the stream has been hopping. It's great.
Oh, yeah.
My redesign streams don't usually get this many viewers, so I guess it's the Gen 1 power.
I feel like it's the new 151, and I definitely recognize a lot of these people. Like, not a lot. I recognize some of these people from your stuff, but I also know several of these people personally.
Okay.
So I think, like, I got at least 2 of these people are here because I advertised it.
It's
Wonderful.
my comedy prowess. Let's be real.
But, like, I think it's the new 151.
Yeah.
I'm glad people are enjoying it, or at least
Yeah,
listening to us talk about Pokemon stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
Which is great, because I have so many takes on Pokemon and no one to
me
share
too.
them with.
Oh, God.
Yeah, I was thinking the color might need to be a little bit less of a strong purple.
Okay.
Yeah. Just
It feels a
slightly
little grimacey
desaturated.
right now.
Feels what?
Grimace. He is a
He looks
mascot.
like Chris.
A classical mascot for McDonald's. I'm sorry.
Are you craving my McNuggies?
Oh, I didn't know his name. I don't even remember his name in Portuguese, but I don't know if I ever knew his name in English.
Well, there you go.
But I know who you're talking
Grimace.
about. Okay, yeah. Yeah, so let's make him less of a strong purple. Let's desaturate
I can't
lighten it up a
unsee
little
it.
bit.
Please desaturate him. I don't
Yeah.
want to think about that.
Thinking about that
make
now,
him
what
gray.
a weird English name, you know? It's not really like a joyous name. It's like, come
Yeah.
to McDonald's where you can Grimace.
Well, I think Grimace used to be like an antagonist in the commercials.
Did he now?
I believe so. I feel like I was watching like somebody who reviewed old commercials, and they're like, "The Grimace is going to eat the burgers" or something.
How strange.
Kind of like how Hamburglar, like he stole the burgers, but he's also like Ronald McDonald's bro. I don't know McDonald's lore. Don't ask me.
Ronald like bails him out of prison. He like gets the call from the hamburger again. He's like, "Okay, I'll get you the money. This is the last time, Hamburglar."
Shane, Muk is number 89, so that's how many we've done.
Yeah.
So many.
And if you want to see the others, you can go to the new in 51, or now I have to check if it's the new in 51 or just new151.tumblr.com.
It's just new151.tumblr.
new151.tumblr.com.
Yes.
See the rest of them.
It's a very cool project that I'm happy to have worked on.
Yeah, we were,
So am I.
Marcus, we were definitely considering oh, what if we made the purple into a green? I don't know. I feel like I want to stick with purple just to keep it more like the Cantonian Muk rather than the Alolan Muk. But like the red could be made into a green. Whoa, that's psychedelic.
Yeah. Yeah, I think you might be a little bit. You might be commenting on what it was before.
I like this one right now because it looks very gross.
With
I
blue
think the
and green.
blue's a little too blue.
Yeah, we can adjust the blue.
Yeah. What does the green look like with the light orange? Golden Pelt suggested we try that.
The green with the light orange.
Grimace is shake in Portuguese. Huh.
Shake?
Or I don't know how to pronounce that, if it's just shake or what.
I think it is, actually, yeah. I think it is just the English word, shake. Like a milkshake, which is also what you call it in Portuguese.
I mean, that's kind of nicer than Grimace.
Well, it's definitely nicer than Grimace.
It is,
right?
Much nicer than Grimace.
Is this what you had in mind? Who was it that suggested that?
Golden Pelt.
Oh, Golden
So
Pelt.
that was kind of like, that was almost like the original color that was in your sketch, Infinipede.
Yeah, that was, I think he mentioned the light orange with...
I also like that. That's gross, and it looks a little less like a Alolan that way.
Yeah. Maybe make one of them a little darker. It looks like an old comic barfed over it. Yeah, maybe make like one of them a little darker. But other than, because they're around like the same, like...
Yeah. Actually,
let's luminosity right now.
Yeah, let's do the...
a little more contrast would be cool.
I'll put a desaturation filter. That's the contrast. Yeah, the contrast is very... very low, so...
Yeah, I mean, I was able to pick up on that, so...
Yeah, if I... Oh, with your original red and orange, when you desaturate it, it's actually the red that blends in with the purple.
With the purple, yeah.
Yeah.
And that's why there's the red around the outside, the lighter one.
Yeah. So let's try a slightly darker green, but maybe not quite so dark.
Yeah, not like too dark. But... Shane, that's something people have asked, and I think what we're thinking right now is we just want to get done with this before we think about any other projects.
Yeah, people have asked me that a lot. Like almost every time that I post a video about it, someone asks me, are you going to do Gen 2? And my answer is, or it's always, are you going to do Gen 2 or are you going to do their megas? It's one or the other.
Yeah.
And the answer that I usually give is we've talked about doing the expanded Kanto decks, so like the evolutions and such.
Yeah, I think that at least is something I want to do.
Yeah.
But right now it's like, let's finish this.
Exactly, yeah.
And then we will talk about where we go from there.
We have been doing this for 4 years.
Oh, yeah.
When we originally planned this project to be about a year long.
Four more,
like,
re-election.
We can do one a week. Like, oh no.
Yeah.
I
mean,
like
nice,
this combination.
Yeah, I think it looks good. And the contrast looks pretty good too.
Yeah. He is a disgusting boy.
Me too, thanks.
Maybe it doesn't read quite so much like oil. But I'm not sure what we could do to change that.
It almost looks a little moldy right now.
Yeah. It just, it reminds me of, I play this like pet site game And
I know what you're gonna say.
yeah,
I don't.
you can like have different colors on the pets, and one of the colors is called pumpkin, and sometimes pumpkin looks like that, so I'm like, oh, he's got a pumpkin color.
Okay. I'm just trying something a little bit different.
Yeah, it does look like mold and vomit, so we've moved away from like the, oh, I like that, I like the dark. That makes it look like oil.
Yeah, I think the darkness is what it was missing to make it look
Yeah.
like oil, but I'm also going to try with blue instead of the orange.
We'll see.
Yeah.
The blue you had before, I feel like was a little too saturated for me, for my
Right.
tastes, but I'm also worried that like a dark blue would be too much like part of like Alolan Muck.
I don't know. Like the blue to me is fairly minimal part of Alolan Muk. Like it's
It
basically
is,
just
but
outlines.
yeah, this looks too much like Earth Day colors. This one,
It does. Yeah.
yeah, he looks like he's celebrating Earth Day.
This is better.
I don't mind. Yeah, if the I kind of like the dark teal version, sort of.
It's a little bit challenging when I'm playing around with it and you're responding to something that's like 20 seconds ago.
That's 20
Yeah.
seconds
Um,
before.
But okay, so I've stopped changing it right now, and I like this. Tell me what you think. In 20 seconds.
It's very swampy, somebody said, and I think that looks I think that's definitely does look very swampy.
If you were going for Swamp Thing, you have achieved it in this one, for sure.
I wasn't necessarily going for it, but I accept that.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't mind it looking Swamp Thing. Oh, and Palette is heading out, so thanks for
Bye.
hanging out with us, Gavin. We'll see you later. Yeah, like to me, it doesn't look like oil, but it definitely looks like sludge, which ultimately is what muck is anyway.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I shouldn't say this
Marcus?
now, but
Uh-oh.
should we make the mouth on Muck bigger?
Maybe.
Maybe, yeah. Marcus
seems-
also suggested like having the tongue hanging out and melting. I actually
Oh.
considered having the tongue hanging out, but like because one of my inspirations was already Numamon, I was like, no, this is too much like Numamon.
Yeah, now that I'm looking at the Mucks in the background, I feel like something that really differentiates Muck from Grimer is just the size of his maw.
Size of mouth,
so
yeah.
Yeah, give him like a bleh. Not down to the
Yeah.
floor. No, I don't think
I'm
the
sorry you
floor.
got this far, and I'm like, change it. But
Oh no, that's fine. Are we okay with these colors though? I'll just keep it like this.
Yeah, yeah.
I kind of like these colors. It
Okay.
looks a little almost dark type, so I could see going a tad lighter. But
Yeah.
Okay. All right. But yeah, let's adjust that mouth a little bit. Okay, gonna have to do this a little bit. It would be too finicky for me to try to trace inside that outside edge of the mouth there. So I'm just gonna make a copy of the mouth and then erase it.
art hacks.
All right. All right, mouth and body in separate layers. Now we can do this.
All right.
Let's see, how big are we gonna go?
I wouldn't say down to the floor, but like compared to the proportions on like regular muck.
This might be, yeah, this might work.
Yeah.
I'll leave
yeah.
it there for a moment.
Oh yeah, that looks perfect.
That does look more mucky.
That looks
Yeah.
very mucky.
I think I just need to adjust the position a little bit because Muk always has that like little bit of the lip showing up on the side. So.
Yeah. I think maybe move it up just a tiny bit.
Charon says bigger. Do we want bigger?
Bigger, faster,
Bigger.
stronger.
Sharon also wanted it down to the floor, so
It almost is down to the floor on other mucks.
yeah.
Well, but the other Mucks don't have legs.
Yeah, exactly.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah.
Well, I like how big that is. Then we definitely have to like adjust the spot for the eyes and the arm at that point.
Yeah.
I don't even think that's wrong though, even that big.
Yeah.
But that's up to you at this point.
Yeah, just stretching it vertically. Yeah.
That's good. I like that. Oh, but that was 20 seconds ago, so.
Mhm.
The struggle.
Yeah. I like this
Yeah,
because I really like how the curve of the tongue kind of matches with the body. So it's
Yeah,
almost
yeah,
like the
that.
head, or like the top of the head is just like a big sludge wave above the body. I
Yeah.
guess.
Oh, that's really cool.
Yeah, I like where you're at. I would
Yeah.
definitely scoot over the left eye and the left arm a little bit, but yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, make the eyes farther apart and put the arm a
Right.
little farther back, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks good.
You're very good at taking criticism. You're not like, no.
Well, I've been doing redesigns on stream for a while now.
Yeah. I'm not very good at taking criticism, but I try.
Like I always want to listen to other people's ideas because like here we have 3 people who are actively participating in this design, but most of the time it's just me. And I know that I'm not perfect as much as I would like to think otherwise. But like and also some people like the Pokemon that I'm redesigning and I don't usually. I don't
Right.
like them. So I want to know what other people think because I might not be picking up on part of the essence of the Pokemon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I should have been there for Slurpuff, man. Should have
Yeah.
been there. I'm sorry.
I'm trying to think. There's a couple of yours that I wish I had been there for because they're Pokemon I really like. But I don't remember which one.
Clearly, you don't like them that much.
I'm just not much of a live stream person.
Well, to be fair, I'm not either. Like I don't know. I feel like
Yeah,
For me to-
I wish I was there for Carnivine. I really like Carnivine.
okay.
Cryogonal, I like Cryogonal, but I think your redesign does actually kind of capture the essence of Cryogonal.
Okay,
Maybe
that's
it's
good.
a little too cutesy, but otherwise, like, it's cool. Same with, honestly, like Aromatisse, I might also wish I was there for, but,
Mm-hmm.
I have my own gripes with Aromatisse.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's something else that happens often. Is that I do a redesign that I'm happy with, and someone else is like, "Well, I don't like this Pokemon either." But you didn't fix the thing that I didn't like about it.
yeah, I mean, it just comes
And you're
back
like,
to,
well, damn.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, of course, I have the same, like, Plague Doctor gripe with Aromatisse. Like, it evolves with a sachet, for God's sake.
Yeah.
But I like Aromatisse as its own thing removed from my expectations.
Mm.
But it's like the Plague Doctor expectation really marred it for me. If it evolved with something that wasn't a sachet, I probably would feel a little better about it.
I really like Aromatisse.
I like it
Why
out
would
of
you
context.
say that? All right, let's.
Jamie, the arm being up like that is a reference to the original Muk Sugimori art.
There they are.
That honestly is super classic to a lot of people
Yeah.
because it looks like he's flipping you off.
Well, not just because of that, but yes, I suppose.
But
that
also
too.
just because it is very much classic. Yeah.
I do think the arm on the original one is a little thicker.
It is a little thicker. Definitely. We might want to make it a little thicker.
It might look a little more menacing if you had the shoulder be kind of thick and it goes up to like a thinner hand, sort of like the original one.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
I see.
The Rafa, that's kind of something I'm doing. I'm with my own like Fakemon stuff. I am doing a different regional form of Aromatisse and Spritzy. So.
Oh, Chiron, Dream Ball matches Aromatisse so well. It's really nice to breed pink Pokemon because you have so many options with the Dream Ball and the Love Ball and the Heal Ball. And of course, you try to breed a yellow Pokemon, and you're like, well, great.
Yeah.
Well, it's happened again.
Oh no.
Another crash. I don't know why it's crashing so much. It usually doesn't. Like it often happens that it lags, and like, you know, I'm drawing, and then all of a sudden my strokes aren't showing up anymore. But
no, Photoshop. When I'm on Photoshop too much, it lags for me.
Yeah, but then I just wait a little bit, and then it comes back. Usually is what happens, or I have to save and close. But
yeah,
I haven't had it like actually crash in a while, and I think it's only ever happened once before today. So
I will take this break to go use the bathroom real quick. I'll be right back.
Yeah, I'm just gonna have a sip of this real quick.
All right. Well, thankfully we the recovery is working well.
That's good.
Let's make sure I save that.
Oh, this is smallmouth muck, though.
Oh, it is.
Yeah.
Well, that's okay. I know what I did.
Yeah, we'll have to fix that. Yeah, they only made Dream Ball and Beast Ball after Gen 4. I want a couple more balls, you know? A few more balls.
I don't know. I'm happy with the number I have.
Oh, Feraligattrade Gaming. That's a long name, but I wish some of those Pokemon were real so bad. But I will say, Tangrowth is better than what they originally had. Like, as somebody who loves Tangrowth, I don't want the like beta Tangrowth. Though, I mean, I take it as a split evolution, but anything Tangela is cool with me, you know?
As someone who isn't much of a fan of Tangrowth, I actually do like the betas better.
It's cute.
Yeah.
I like that we got a baby Tangela.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, I'll take anything Tangela, and I like Tangrowth because it's a big Tangela, and it doesn't have shoes. And it has arms.
Okay,
No,
I adjusted the colors a little bit. I know I still have to go back and adjust the mouth and the arm again, but
yeah.
Is that better?
It's all right.
Like I don't want it to end up going into Grimace territory again, right?
Yeah, that I don't know. It doesn't look too Grimace to me, but
okay, I'm back.
Hello.
I liked it when it was like pretty dark, but.
Mm-hmm.
That's just personally because I really like the oil concept.
Yeah.
Rubber type confirmed.
Well, maybe I could.
Where's rubber type?
Oh boy, I have a lot of things to say about. I'm not gonna say.
Oh.
Silicon type.
Has there been any bad dragons in Pokemon?
What do you mean by a bad dragon?
Well, I mean, a lot of people
Don't ask that question.
But I like it.
No, what do you mean by a bad dragon?
You know, it's a website.
Oh, okay.
Don't delve too deep into that question.
They sell adult products. That's what I'll.
Oh, okay. That's that's the name of the site, Bad Dragon.
Yes.
That is the name of the site.
Oh, okay.
If you are under 18 and in this chat, please just ignore everything we. Yeah, exactly. Rubber type would be not family friendly sometimes.
Right.
Yeah.
So how about this? I kept the dark of the purple, but I brightened up the blue and the green.
That's fine. I still think like the lighter blue still makes it think like it's Earth Day. But
Oh yeah, it does go back into Earth Day territory there.
yeah.
Is this the blue? This is the blue. So, do I adjust just the green?
Maybe make like the blue more like teal. I don't know. I really don't know what to tell you.
Yeah. Well, I like the colors that we had like this.
Yeah.
But we were
I
talking
mean,
about maybe making them brighter. So.
I think that looks all right.
Okay. I gotta
Leather type.
I gotta do the mouth and the arm and the eye again.
Yeah, that's like Ursaring's. Ursaring and Beartick have all gained the leather type.
The leather type.
The green and blue or black and brown. I think we're trying to like keep it being kind of colorful so it looks like it's poisonous, because that's like something a lot of poison type Pokemon kind of have is like bright color equals toxic sort of animal warning signals.
Yeah. And also the oil, which is part of the Alolan Muck concept as well.
Yeah.
So like, it's not something that's completely new being added. Yeah.
48. Yeah, I decided to stick pretty conservative on my fan project stuff, and I only have one fan type, and it's magic. And then I took the mutant type from my bro Aviculor because I thought it was really cool.
Is magic type any different from fairy type?
Yeah, it's more general, whereas fairy type is like fairies and cute stuff. Magic type, it's magic, so it's like mages, wizards, like supernaturally stuff.
Interesting.
Yeah, whereas fairy type is like more narrow,
Right.
in my opinion, of like what it can be applied to, and it's like not applied to everything necessarily like that magic type would be applied to. Like whereas like fairy and ghost are mostly for like this thing is a ghost or this thing is a fairy. Magic type is like this thing uses magic, like this thing's a witch.
Right.
So that's where I went with it at least. I mean, I also use it to kind of like balance out like fairy type.
Like in terms of type matchups?
Yeah, in terms of type matchups, because I think they made fairy like too powerful offensively.
I would argue that fairy's the best type in the game. I agree.
Yeah. So I have like magic type because the idea is like who knows how to deal with fairies but like a witch or a wizard.
Right.
So it's able to handle them. I also use it to give like electric another like weakness, because I always thought it was weird electric only has one weakness.
That is weird.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not sure what else electric would be weak to in the existing Pokemon types.
Yeah, exactly. There's like I can't think of much.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I don't dislike fairy type on principle. I don't think they're using it to its full potential. Like I've been waiting for Grimmsnarl for like 3 whole generations.
Yeah, I think
Fairies are
fairy
creepy.
types are cool.
Yeah, fairies like in actual like fairy lore, they're creepy. Why haven't we gotten like a changeling yet? Fairies could be weak to rubber type. I've seen some fan art like that.
But they're so good against bad dragon. I mean dragon.
Yeah, like some fairy lore is like cute, but then you have like we're gonna just like replace babies. And like I'm gonna like go into your house, and if
Yeah.
you can't find me, your house will slowly start to like be disgusting, and you'll die.
And isn't that a wonderful sentiment?
Isn't that what
Yes.
all children want in their video games?
I mean, I don't need it to be that creepy. I just really want like a Zoroark style changeling fairy,
Yeah, I get you.
or like what about the like Japanese like yokai that's like, oh, there's a baby crying on the side of a mountain, and then you pick it up and it turns into a massive baby and it crushes you beneath it.
Right.
That would be a great fairy type.
The reason I pressed when you asked about the bad dragon, Julie, is because I actually want there to be bad dragon types. Like,
Okay. You thought it was a very legitimate question and not a big
Oh
goof.
yeah.
well, I'm not like following the chat very closely, so as far as I could tell, that did kind of come out of the blue, and I thought you were talking about, dragons that are not good Pokemon.
No,
Yeah.
I was just
I
playing
also
off of
want there to
the
be some
silicone
like
type.
little dragons. I thought I had a guess that we were going to get like if we were going to get a bug type, it would be dragon-esque, and I did guess correctly. Though I guessed for a different reason than like Scorch is like more of just like a Japanese looking insect dragon.
Yeah.
But I was thinking that we would have maybe a bug dragon or a water dragon based on the Lambton worm, which was like this dude found a worm and he like chucked it into a well, and then he comes back years later and it's a dragon. It's like a French or English lore kind of thing.
I see.
And I was thinking we'd get something like that, but it turns out we got one we did get a long bug, but it's completely different.
And now we desperately need to change the colors for Grimer.
Oh yeah, he looks like Grimace.
Sorry, Shake.
Yeah. Yeah, no, but for the dragons, like I like dragon is still that kind of powerful Pokemon type, and I just wish that it was more of a common Pokemon type.
I agree. I agree. I want there to. It would be so cool if like they did a region where there were just like dragons freaking everywhere.
And
I think it was very
isn't
nice that you
Galar
could
the right
find-
place to do that? Sorry, what did you say, Julie?
I think it was very nice you could find Applin early on in Galar. It wasn't really like a super powerful late game dragon. It was just kind of like
Right.
little
Yeah,
dragon, little dragon friend.
Applin is a good one. But I don't know, like Applin evolves into something that is definitely more useful, but like I want a dragon type like a Dunsparce or something.
Oh
Yeah, everyone wants a Dunsparce.
like Dredagon's a
evolution.
little like that.
A little bit.
Yeah.
But I don't mean an actual Dunsparce that is a dragon type. I just mean a dragon type equivalent to a Dunsparce. Like a Pokemon that is not very interesting, not very well liked, and not very powerful.
Remember when Dunsparce was supposed to be in Smash Bros?
No?
They had an online poll for like Melee or something, where they're like, okay, let's see what character gets added to Smash Bros. And it's the internet, and you gave the internet a poll. So people voted in Dunsparce, and Nintendo got that back, and they said, oh, no.
That's so good though. Then we could have had him in Smash Ultimate.
I would have genuinely liked Dunsparce in Smash.
Oh yeah, I would have played Dunsparce all the time. Like, I'm not even one of those Dunsparce lovers, and I still would have played Dunsparce. Felix actually suggested with the green that we have, if we would make it like it might look less Earth Day-esque if we made it more yellow.
On Muk, right?
On Muk,
Okay.
yeah. And consequently, probably also on Grimer.
Yeah. Yeah, that works.
I have to wait till it shows up on my screen.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's nice.
I don't know, like it does. to me, it does start to go back into Earth Day territory, but
To me, the yellow looks sickly. Yeah, it reads as toxic.
well, maybe we can make it yellow instead of green then.
I feel like yellow might go too much into Alolan Muk's territory, though. If we keep it as like a kind of chartreuse.
Okay, how about this? I don't think this is Alolan Muk at all.
This like bile.
Yeah.
I don't mind that. Yeah, that's all right.
All right, I'm gonna leave it there for now. You can always go back and change it again.
Yeah.
So let's see. Let's try to get this this Grimer. Oh, that's not what I meant to do. Let's try to get this Grimer a little bit closer to the look of Muk.
Yeah.
But we won't give it exactly the same colors because that would be boring.
Yeah. The problem with regular Muk colors is they're just purple.
Yeah, exactly. And Photoshop is misbehaving in a way that I've seen it do before. So like, I probably need to close and restart. But
yeah, you should save.
yeah, I did save, but
Good.
What's going on with your Photoshop today?
Yeah, really.
I don't know. But like, I think you can see here. Oh, actually, not like that, but like this. I think you can see it. So you see, it's picking up the color, right?
Yeah.
But then it actually, the color that it got is gray.
Huh.
And all these lines, I didn't move my mouse, or I barely moved my mouse.
Weird.
So this is definitely it going all over the place for some reason.
Yeah. You should probably close and open your Photoshop.
Yep. Let's do that.
Do you have
Third
haunted
time
Photoshop?
today.
Haunted Photoshop.
And I've only had it happen on this computer. And it's also the only Windows computer that I've used in years. So I'm blaming Windows, but I don't actually know.
I don't think it's Windows. I think it's Adobe.
Who's to say?
Well, I mean, it could be Adobe with Windows. Like,
It
that
could be.
combination could be the bad one. Because I use it... I use Photoshop, not for this kind of stuff, but I use Photoshop frequently on my work Mac. As in the Mac that I use for work. Not that I go to the office or anything. I just noticed that I didn't cover this part. Okay. Yeah, and I don't have this kind of problem with it. I only have this kind of problem on this computer, and it's a Windows, specifically for streaming. So, I don't know.
It's a mystery.
Yeah. It could be like the physical, like the hardware of your computer too, because I think
it could
Photoshop
be.
can be a little resource intensive, especially if you're streaming at the same time.
That's true. I do only have this problem when I'm streaming, and it's still happening. I haven't even done anything, or barely done anything. Come on, we're so close. All we have to do is figure out the colors for Grimer.
Oh jeez, Photoshop, no. Yeah, Photoshop gobbles up CPU. It's good.
I guess
Are
I
you
can
still blaming me bashing Lantern?
Yes. Okay, I'm just, instead of trying to pick up the color for Muk, I'm just going to approximate it by eye, because that seems to be working. So,
Okay.
yeah.
Whoop. For Alligatrade Gaming, are you talking about the new 151 sprites?
Accidentally covered up the eyes. Let's put this back. You know, this doesn't look bad. Just as it is. It goes from a pinkish reddish slime to a yellow and blue one.
I kind of like that.
Yeah, I don't mind. That's cool. Yeah, for Alligatrade, I actually did the new 151 sprites that we have so far, so thank you. I appreciate that.
All right.
It is less bacony.
I guess it is a little bit bacony.
He says it's less bacony now.
Yeah.
Oh.
You freed yourself
fair.
from the bacon.
Yeah.
No more bacon.
No bacon.
These are vegan muck.
Does it count as vegan with all that fat on it, which probably is partially animal fat?
Oh, it could be vegetable fat.
It could be vegetable fat. Yes, it could be. Well, okay, I'm happy with it as it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll finish up the like final art, which will just look like this, but final. I'm not going to change any poses or colors or anything.
150 Gallade, you can find the sprites up to, but not including Sand Shrew and Sand Slash on our Tumblr, which is new151.tumblr.com. I have not done anything past whatever was before Sand Slash, Sand Shrew. I think Pikachu and Raichu. I've not done anything past them just because of other obligations, and it's difficult to do things in that small space. But we were actually talking about it like at the beginning of the stream.
Mm-hmm.
But you can see 26 or so sprites on our Tumblr.
Oh, I just remembered that at some point someone suggested making Muck's upstretched arm thicker. Does it still need that? I didn't end up changing it because of the Photoshop crash and having to redo stuff. I forgot about it.
You could if you want.
Like I could try it, but I was going for kind of an Alolan Muck kind of arm. When I drew it that way. Which I guess this official art doesn't quite show it like that, but
No.
in the 3D model, when Alolan Muck, its arm is sticking up, kind of like the original Muck art here, but it's quite skinny. So I could try making it thicker, but
Yeah, just like more like tapered, thicker. Like
Right.
it gets thinner as it goes upward.
Thankfully, the arm is still on its own layer. So,
Oh, good.
yeah, I can... Sure, let's do it as if it was a perspective distort. I feel like it might end up covering up too much of the back.
Yeah, it's possible.
Mm-hmm.
I think
Maybe
Yeah, I
just
think that
maybe
much-
just a little bit.
Yeah, just a little bit. That much is a
Yeah.
pretty good compromise, I think. Yeah, so you can still see a bit of the back.
Yeah. I'm not gonna bother fixing the colors, but since this is just a reference for me for later
Yeah,
anyway.
yeah.
But yeah, well there we go. That's what they're gonna look like. I'll finish up the art and probably share it by the end of the week. Probably sooner rather than later, I would think, but we'll see. Things very up in the air right now in terms of my workload, thanks to the pandemic. So yeah, we'll see when I have time, but I should have time at some point this week to finish things up. But yeah, this was a lot of fun.
Sounds good.
Doing it on stream, or really, I think just like having the two of you here to actually show things as I do them, and have the conversations about what looks good and also what matters in the design, and having the viewers in the chat as well to participate. I think that's worked out really well.
Oh, I agree.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for having me. I'm sorry I just kind of showed up, but it worked out. Worked out.
Yeah, thanks for the invite.
Yeah. Julie, we were like, where is Julie? Well, whatever. We'll just get started.
I was just lurking. I was like, okay.
Okay. Yeah. So thanks everyone for watching. We will do this again next month. I can actually check the calendar. Does the second Saturday still work for you?
Yeah, I don't have anything going on.
I can do that.
Cool. So second Saturday of May is May 9th. And this time we will actually do Shelter and Cloister.
Yes. And it will hopefully look less Yannick.
Well, yeah. It's one of those things. Like either you shy away from it or you just really lean into it.
I'm gonna shy away from it. I just it's a little uncomfortable.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
All right. So we'll end here. Thanks everyone for watching. Thanks Infinipede and Banana Meteor for joining me. And Ethan, who hasn't been around in chat for a while, but thank you
he
also
said he could only do text for after some point. So.
He's here in spirit.
Yes.
Of course. But thank you, Ethan, also for chatting with us earlier. So that's it. I'm Umbreon Libris, and I'll see you in the next chapter. Bye.
Bye, guys.